Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Speedy. Welcome, NotSoSpeedRuns, and welcome to our very first episode of 6 and 20 Metropolis, our brand new series here in the City of Mist. We'll be getting started in just a minute. It's good to see all these friendly faces in chat. McLoken and Meta and everyone, thanks for the hosts and all that good stuff. And Grinny, all you lovely people in chat. I can't go through all of them right now. That would be ridiculous. Let's go ahead and let's start things out this time a little differently by going to VideoStoreCowboy, our GM here tonight, and having him explain a little about the game and the system that we're in tonight. How about that?
So City of Mist is, at its core, a modern sort of noir setting with superhero and superpower elements. The mythical, the magical, the pop culture, all of that kind of fits within the framework of the game system and the setting. The game itself is based, it was written by, designed by a group called Son of Oak. They built it on top of the Apocalypse world system, which is powered by the Apocalypse, and added some elements from the Fate game system by Evil Hat. And so what you get is this kind of merger of this amazing narrative storytelling with very little to no stats. Everything is very descriptive. Everything is designed to make the story even more narrative in some cases than the Blades when we were as we had talked previously about. So that's the system. Metropolis itself is a little bit of a homebrewed world that we built on top of City of Mist. There are some changes that we've made to the way that things work from the setting, but at its core, it's still a modern noir setting with superheroes and mythology and all of that kind of just meshed together. So that's City of Mist.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited to get into it. We've all put a good amount of time into our characters, except McLoken, who got in on this like a couple days ago, but who has still put in a lot of time on his character, and it's pretty awesome.
Well, we've had 3 people join on all 3 shows this week at the last minute, and all of them did amazing. So thank you to McLoken, thank you to Valanda, and thank you to Sam from last night's show. You guys did amazing jobs just kind of stepping up to the plate and just jumping into it. So awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, off of that, there are 2 other shows going on in this same world that Johnny, VideoStoreCowboy is DMing, not Johnny, the guy with the name Johnny on there.
You already did it.
It's going to get confusing.
That's what I said. They didn't believe it, but it will. That VideoStoreCowboy is DMing, one on his channel, VideoStoreCowboy, one on Unmade Gaming, and this one right here. All DM'd by him, all in the same 6 and 20 universe, and we'll probably have some crossovers at some point. But with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started by going around to all of our lovely cast members. And this time, because this is no longer Blades in the Dark, and Trendane isn't the one over in the same... Actually, he's in the same place, but he's not first anymore. So we're going to start this time with Meta. Introduce yourself and say a little about your character.
All right, cool. Hello, I'm Metamancer. Thank you guys for coming out here and doing this. This is my first time playing through this system, so I'm really excited to get to play in it myself. I did watch somebody, McLoken and a few others play during TwitchCon, but I'm a broadcaster and also a GM on my own channel that I do Call of Cthulhu on Sundays, and I also do digital art and other roleplay related activities. So my character is Morrigan. She is a therapist in the modern world, and I guess I will let you guys figure out what her mythos is when we get through the story, and you guys will start to realize things. I doubt many people know the mythos, actually, because it's not very common. It's very niche, but I'm still excited to see people guessing about it. So yeah. I don't know how deep you wanted me to go into my character, so.
No, I think that's a good amount. I think we've been kind of leaving the mythos that we're all representing kind of a mystery for the audience to kind of figure out on their own. And that's how it's been for the past couple shows. So next up, now let's go to Trendane. That's you. Yeah.
Oh.
We're
Have we started?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at porn. Um,
So like your character.
Getting at the character, yeah. No, he actually doesn't like porn very much.
Oh, okay.
It's anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so hi, I'm Trent Sparks. I'm a professional voice actor person thing, and I am playing, reprising my role of Calvin Elton Gannicus, who is he's a food and wine and arts and pretty much anything that somebody might write a review for that is something that's designed to make people happy, even if it's like Uber or Lyft. It's like, okay, well, this cab company actually does a really good job. Whatever he writes reviews for. Basically, his thing is, I want to show people where the good stuff is in life, and that's he's sort of an advice columnist, but he doesn't answer specific questions. He just says, you want to have a good time, go here, and he has generally a pretty good time about that. Played him in the one shot and playing him again in this thing. Are we doing the gravity thing? Or
I mean, if you want to. Because,
see, McLaughlin, since you're down below me on this particular frame, usually what I will do, like if you previously on, what was the other show we did? What was that called?
You can just call it 6 and 20 still.
Okay, previously on 6 and 20, you would have been Madame Gandalf, and I would have just dropped the ball, quote unquote.
Oh, and I would have had to catch it.
Right, the testicles would have descended down onto you. Yeah, and and then it would have been your turn to go and do your thing. So, do your thing.
Teabags. Yeah. Hi, my name's Michellokin. Good day to you. I'm also a fellow RPer and GM here on Twitch as well. I have my own show called Chosen, which aired last night. We had our drunk episode. If a couple of you guys, I saw you stop by and see that shenanigans, because that was that was a fun time. But yeah, I'm playing Johnny Stormalong. He is a high school student who also works at his father's arcade called Stormies, where he repairs the games. And if he's not repairing the games, he's making high scores and eating food all the time. So that's all that really Johnny's about right now. He's like 17 years old.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I am reprising my role from the one shot, as was Cal. I am reprising my role as Giovanni de Brosa, a bartender at a casino called the Queen of Hearts. He's got a knack for listening to people and knowing what it is that they want to drink before they even have to ask. And he's a good bartender in that regard. And I'll leave the rest up to Johnny to start doing things. Johnny.
Wait, this Johnny?
You know what? Go ahead, get started. I'm curious. I don't even have a character, and I want to play in Johnny's game.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Well, all right.
We're already making an offshoot. I mean,
this is a lot of pressure. All right. You're an elf who you're at a tavern and a wizard walks in.
Hello. You look like an elf. I need an elf. I'm magical.
Oh my god. All right, guys. If without further ado, Speedy, you don't have any other announcements? You want to talk about donations at all or anything before we get started?
Yeah, I'll mention donations can affect the game that we have here. I believe we have, I don't actually have a list of donations, but for $4 you can give a critical success or failure to a player or the GM. Does the GM roll things in this game? I forget.
No, it's the same. It's the same way as Blade, so
right,
you should read the rules.
Yeah, you can give a critical success or failure to a player for $4. For $10, you can insert an NPC into the game. And, maybe there's some other things, but let's not worry about those. Johnny, you can take it away.
Okay.
Video Store Cowboy, take it away. That one's definitely you.
Are we sure?
An arcade is kind of like a video store.
What? How, can I just go by Thor? I'll go by Thor.
No.
Right? Okay.
No.
Oh.
Definitely not.
All right. Are you? Let's get started.
Okay.
Okay. The city in summer. Summer nights, in fact. There is a warm breeze that blows on a summer night. It is clear. The moon shines down full across the entire city. From a distance, we see the entire city kind of, lit up and bright at its center where we have downtown. Downtown is vibrant. It is crazy. It is chaotic. It is, so much nightlife that it's just buzzing with activity. But as you draw farther and farther out from the center of the city, in different directions, you get different things. If you go towards the ocean, you find yourself in the blue collar district and then the old quarter. If you go the other direction, you find yourself going from downtown through Tinseltown to Olympus. And that's where our story begins as we zoom into Olympus, a sort of posh, well-to-do neighborhood. It's a gated community for the most part, and it's up in the mountains just, above Tinseltown. As we begin to focus in, we see that there are various mansions and that there are small, little streets, just enough for sports cars and occasionally a limo that can fit its way through up these streets with these big, large mansions and these sprawling estates on top of mountains. And we zoom in closer and closer to one particular house one particular mansion that has a very vibrant activity going on. There is a party going on of some kind, some sort of gala event. And we find ourselves sort of focusing in as a taxi arrives and out steps Cal. Cal is arriving at this particular gathering at the invitation of its organizer, Mr. Knox. Mr. Knox is throwing a gala it's a charity event specifically for the Walker Foundation, who recently lost its chairman and is seeking funds to kind of figure out what the next steps are. And Mr. Knox, a well-known Tinseltown mogul, the CEO of one of the Tinseltown studios, is throwing this gala in support of that. And so Cal has received a personal invitation from Mr. Knox so that he writes a column, for to talk up, the charity work that Mr. Knox is giving. And so Cal, when you step out of the cab, kind of set the entrance for us and tell us what you see.
Well, since he owns each person who lives up here has a slightly different style that represents what they do. Since Mr. Knox is, a film, he owns a production studio mogul kind of person. There's a lot of the topiary is done up in like a classic Marilyn Monroe pose or a Jimmy Dean kind of thing. There will be classic cars from movies that he's made, which are positioned around the semicircular driveway where you pull in. The front hallway, the overhead, the awning that you pull in under is set up like a camera tripod. What is going on with my voice? Excuse me. Just distracted because a job request came in. And then huge, the double doors on the front of the thing are easily the width of probably 3 or 4 regular doors. It's almost the width of a garage, but the front doors are alternating slats of a rich, deep, dark cherry wood with this very slightly tinted glass, so you can see through and you can see figures moving around, but it's very difficult to see clearly what's going on, but you can see when there's movement. But they are currently standing wide open, and the breeze, which is coming in from the back of the house, coming in from the pool all the way through, is a mixture of scent of people who are wearing suntan lotion in the pool, everything that's being cooked on the barbecues, plural, that have been brought in. There are like 8 of them back there that are doing all different kinds of foods and vegetables and whatnot. And then various drinks and whatnot that are being served inside, as well as whatever floral arrangements and everything else that have been brought about the place.
And so as you make your entrance into the main house, the mansion, through those double doors, and you come into the entry hallway, you see it's already abuzz with various guests just having little bits of conversation. Where does Cal find himself going to once inside? Is it first to a drink? Is it first for food? Is it first for companionship? What is Cal seeking in this particular case?
Has he been greeted yet? Or is he just walking in?
So you would have been greeted, and actually, let's go ahead and do that then. So as you're kind of approaching the double doors, quite a young man in his early 20s, dressed very appropriately in some sort of a tux, kind of steps up and says, "Invitation, please."
And Calvin holds out his invitation and sort of, instead of just holding it straight out, kind of lowers it a bit while he's doing it, so he gives him a chance to look the guy up and down and kind of smiles at him like, you wear it well.
Thank you, Mr. Elton. It says here you're a personal.
Gannicus. Elton is my middle name.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Gannicus. I read that incorrectly. Mr. Gannicus, welcome. I understand that you are a guest of Mr. Knox. He is currently making his way through the main house right now. Greeting various ticket holders for the gala tonight. I'm sure that he would like to see you personally, since this is a personal invitation here.
When he's free, as long as there's wine, I can be kept entertained for a very long time.
Well, that's funny you should say that, sir. If you go inside and off to your left, once you get inside into the main room, there's a wonderful selection of red and white. We also have quite a store of various liquors as well. The bar is well stocked. I think you will find yourself appropriately sated this evening.
Doubtful, but it'll be fun to try.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, Mr. Gannicus, Mr. Gannicus, please go ahead and go inside. And he moves to greet, the next person, sort of, kind of coming in, and he just kind of waves you through the double doors.
And Calvin makes a beeline for the bar, which, ironically, bees, they don't really. Anyway, whatever. It's just a weird phrase.
As you enter the main room, you kind of look over at the bar. You take your first steps, and you recognize somebody working behind the bar. Gio. We're going to cut across the room to Gio. As a favor to a friend who you know working at the casino, who has a side gig doing bartending, you were asked to cover for this particular individual. At this particular party tonight at the Knox's charity gala, and so you find yourself sort of sitting behind the bar, and across the room, entering as you're kind of mixing, you feel a little bit of eyes on you, and you look across and you see Cal standing
there. They'll just belly up to the bar. Gio, long time.
Can't hear you, Speedy.
Chianti? He hands you a glass.
Actually, yes. Thank you. Very good. He takes a sip and he's like, very good. Yeah.
I didn't quite take you for one of these tastes.
Oh. Yeah, a broad palate.
Oh, I didn't quite mean the wine. I meant these.
Oh. Oh, well. Got my fingers everywhere.
I'm sure
what about
you?
You? I mean, and he kind of leans in and he's like, Queen of Hearts isn't exactly this sort of crowd. What brings you in particular here?
Fucking Jimmy. He promised he'd work this event. He works jobs on the side, and then I don't know. Said he's sick. I think he skipped town.
It seems like this would be a pretty sweet gig for someone in your profession.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. Too many people. Although, to be fair, it's not too bad. They don't usually just take the drinks and walk away.
Is that what I should do?
You're all right.
Have you been since the last time we talked?
No more strange occurrences, or no more strange than usual with the Queen of Hearts, anyways. Strange twist of fate to run to you here, though.
Yes and no. Doing what I do, you get friends in a lot of various places. And if you do what I do very well, they tend to ask you to come by. So I imagine I already know the answer to this, but you see that kid again?
What, the one who's a couple olives short of martini? No.
Yeah, that one.
Not since. I don't know how I would find him if I wanted to.
Anywhere there's free food, I imagine. Oh, he's probably here somewhere.
And at that, walking up to the bar, approaching Gio for a drink, is a woman in her mid-30s, dressed incredibly well, with there's a very fine, refined particular to it, or her demeanor. But when she walks up, you see that it is Phoebe Dire, the CEO of Pandora's Delights, a food and beverage company. Cal, you immediately recognize her. And as she kind of walks up, she says, "Hello, Cal. Funny seeing you here."
Miss Phoebe, yes. Well, no, well, possibly. I mean, I'm not surprised to see you here, for sure.
Well,
looking amazing, if I may say, or even if I may not.
Slight blush, but not, nonplussed about the compliment. And you look quite handsome this evening. And she looks to Gio. All right, last time you guessed what I wanted. What do I want this time?
You want what he's having.
Okay. And she takes the glass.
Out his glass. Is like, oh, you didn't mean literally what I'm having. Okay, sorry.
Excuse me, Cal. Thank you, Gio. Excuse me, Cal. I have to go and work the room. Since Gerald's death, I'm required to put myself out there to, they want me for his chairman's job for the foundation. As much as I'm not completely thrilled about it, if they nominate me, I will take it. So I have to go and work the room. But it's a pleasure seeing you, and I hope to see you again sometime. We'll have to have you down to the company building and try some of our new offerings. We've got this new drink that we're going to be putting out very soon. I think it might be up your alley.
Ooh. Yes,
says,
I'd be delighted.
Cheers. And she drops a 20 into the tip jar for Gio and begins to move through the room. And as she's walking across the room, she notices the Morrigan Kane. What do you look like, Morrigan? What does she see about you?
She notices a very slender woman, very well dressed, put together. Nothing's out of place. She carries herself in a very confident fashion. In fact, that just looking at her, you become kind of intimidated to a degree. She's very attractive and has this kind of aura about her as she talks to people, and her smile has a strange and almost unsettling feeling to it. And
as she's walking towards you, you see Phoebe kind of give you the once over and kind of look at the crowd. Is Morrigan with anybody, or is she there alone?
She's not with anybody. Like, she didn't come in with anybody.
Okay.
That Phoebe would know, except for that she's very social. So she's talking to people, mostly listening more than anything. So she doesn't have to talk a lot for people to want to open up to her.
Okay. And so as Phoebe kind of steps up to you, she says, "Dr. Kane, it's a pleasure to see you here. I'm a little surprised, but it's really nice to have you here."
Oh, Phoebe, thank you. I appreciate it. How are you doing with everything?
I'm okay. I'm a little surprised at how big this gala is that Whitney is throwing, but I'm quite impressed. I mean, I'm not the only one who's being considered for the chairman position for the Walker Foundation, but I haven't met anyone who's been displeased with the rumor about me taking the job. I mean, it's nice to see you here. I mean, I know that you do a fair amount of work with the Walker Foundation, helping with mental health for the homeless and special cases and special needs when you can. It's just a pleasure to get a chance to finally see you here out of the office or out of the work setting. So it seems like you don't get out all that often.
A lot of people need help.
More than you know. Well, I have to continue working the room, but I suggest you go talk to Gio over there. He makes excellent drinks. He seems to have this knack. It's just he knows what I want every single time. I think he's quite good. He's quite a good bartender. I'm gonna have to hire him for a private party myself.
Interesting. I'll go take a look then.
And she steps off beyond you and bumps into a serving boy or a serving young man about 17 as she just kind of I'm so sorry, young man, and she's bumped into Johnny.
No, sorry, I am hors d'oeuvre.
Well, those are interesting. What are those?
Bacon wrapped shrimp.
Oh, okay. And she takes one and she takes a bite.
There might be jalapenos on it. I'm not sure though. I didn't eat any.
It's okay, young man. I wouldn't expect you not to eat, strapping young lad like yourself. And she takes a bite again, another bite. But thank you. I appreciate, and I'm sorry. I apologize for bumping into you.
No, it's my fault. I should pay attention more.
And then behind her steps an incredibly large gentleman, very, very well built, 6'4". Well, Phoebe, you can't always, you can't. Not bump into such a strapping young lad. I mean, look at this boy. He looks, he looks like he could take on an ox or even a bear.
I look at my skinny arms and I'm like, yeah, I guess. Thanks.
Oh, that's all right. And Phoebe looks up to this gentleman. His name is Harold, and she says, "Harold, don't tease the boy. He's a little uncomfortable here. He's trying to do the best of his job."
Yeah, I guess it's fine. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go now unless you want to hors d'oeuvre.
And Harold reaches down and picks up 3 and just pops them all into his mouth at the same time. Listen, son, if you ever want to do something with that strapping young ability of yours, come find me. My name is Harold Bjorn. And he kind of turns and walks away. And Phoebe looks, kind of embarrassed and says, "I'm sorry. What's your name?"
I'm Johnny.
Listen, Johnny, you're doing fine. Don't take anything that Harold says. He's kind of a jokester. You have a good evening now, and don't be careful, okay?
Okay. I will. I'll have my head on a swivel. And make sure that I just I'll just do that. Okay, bye. And he just saunters off.
Okay, we're gonna come back to Cal and Gio. I assume the conversation's continuing a little bit with you guys, and Gio or Cal, you're just kind of looking over the room as you're chatting with Gio, and you see Whitney Knox kind of working through the crowd, kind of doing the crowd thing, and you kind of see him sort of standing there in front of you, or maybe 10 or 20 feet in front of you, kind of talking to somebody else. So
has he looked this way yet?
No.
Oh, basically just kind of wait until he does, and when he does, just.
And so the conversation continues with the person that he's talking to, and he kind of looks over, and then he notices you, and he waves to you as you raise your glass, and he gives you the motion. He'll be over in just a second. And so he finishes that conversation, probably takes another minute, and kind of steps over, and he says, "Cal," and he reaches out his hand. It's this big sort of strapping hand for quite a small man. He's about 5'2", kind of balding, your typical sort of strange sort of Hollywood mogul type. Very short, kind of wears a weird kind of a suit, but he's got a generally nice demeanor. And he just says, "Cal, it's a pleasure to see you."
You too, Whitney. How the hell have you been?
Oh, well, we've got some production problems on, he rattles off some movie, and he's like, "Oh, and we've got this other movie that we've got in production. Then we've got this TV show called Blades in the Dark that we're starting to develop. I'm not really sure it's going to work. I'm sorry?
I think I heard about that one.
Yeah, I don't know. And then there's talk of another, sort of a 20s thing called Misbehaving. I'm not really sure. Anyways, things are, it's the business. It's the business. Yeah. How are you doing? I haven't seen you, in a while. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw you out and about.
Let's see. I guess it was late March, early April, I think. Right after the snows had finally really kind of melted off.
Right. There was that food festival that I saw you at. It was I think it was near the park, right?
Right. They held it near on the farmers market grounds, but not on Sunday morning, obviously.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it was really good. They had a lot of great stuff there. It was very, very tasty.
That's really interesting. It's been a while. I can't believe that. So have you gotten a drink? Have you had a chance to get some of the food?
Yeah, actually, Gio was kind enough to give me exactly what I wanted with no prompting.
And he looks over to Gio and he says, "What happened to Jimmy? I thought Jimmy was supposed to be here."
I wouldn't hire Jimmy again. Don't worry about it. I'll cover you.
Cal, are you vouching for this kid? Is he reliable?
I've never seen him do wrong. I guarantee you. You ask him for a drink, he will give you exactly what you want, whether you realize it or not. But when you take that first sip, you're going to know he was right.
Yeah. Gio already has a drink out. Manhattan.
And he grabs the Manhattan and he takes a sip. Yeah. And he puts it down and he reaches in, he grabs his card and he hands it to Gio and he says, "All right, kid, if you're ever looking for a gig, I can definitely hook you up. I know a couple places." And he says, he drops a 50 into the tip jar and it's like, "Appreciate it. I appreciate you filling in for Jimmy. It sounds like things are going great. Cal, it's really awesome to see you. I've got to go work the room, but we'll catch up later, right?"
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And he begins to kind of wander off. And at that, you notice that there's a bit of a commotion at the entryway, as there are two police officers there standing with a plainclothes detective. And this just kind of catches your eye, but nothing really is to be made of it just yet.
Do I recognize that plainclothes detective?
Yeah, no, it is not Catherine Devereaux.
Okay. Because I was going to see ya. Out the door.
No, technically she is on another case tonight. Well,
okay. Good.
And so there's a little bit of a commotion. Where do we find that? We're going to cut to, and where do we find Morrigan? Where is she in the room right now?
Morrigan is kind of making a slow walk towards the bar. She's being very observant, and I'm guessing she notices the commotion.
She does notice the commotion, and she notices the two officers walk in, and she's almost to the bar when she sees the plainclothes detective behind, and it's Derek.
Oh boy. She goes up to the bar and kind of leans with her back towards Gio in this case, and is just kind of looking nonchalantly over to what's happening at the entrance.
I slide her a whiskey straight, a double.
You are good.
That's right.
And she turns around. I'm Morrigan.
Gio, what
Pleasure.
did he do to you?
We have history.
A lot of things have history. Not a lot of things quite so effective, I'd say.
Who's your friend over here?
Oh, him? Cal? You want to introduce yourself? I'm not,
You're not what?
I mean, I only barely know you. And I figure you're the kind of guy who likes to make an entrance.
Ooh.
God damn it.
I'd be careful now.
Damn it.
You don't want to know him that much.
Or maybe she does. Like you said, you barely know me. Calvin Gannicus.
Morrigan. And she reaches out.
Ooh, lovely name.
You seem to know a lot of people here, Cal.
Here and there, I've worked with for. I've done some work that's involved quite a few of the people here. I write reviews, and as this is involves a lot of food and wine and other kinds of things, I have written reviews on most of the services or people that are here.
You write anything on me? Did you write anything on me?
He just smiled.
So do you write truths or opinion?
Usually one and the same.
Interesting.
He's cocky. Don't say it in
You are
the
what you eat. So, mostly opinion, but my opinion usually counts for something. I try to provide balance.
Okay. I can get behind that.
So the commotion at the front of the room with the two officers begin to move into the room as the detective, Derek Roth, begins to kind of scan the room and just is looking, but he's looking towards the right side of the room, so he hasn't seen you yet, Morgan. But it's clear that the two officers are now beginning to kind of move into the room.
Okay. Cal, if you'd excuse me, I have something to deal with. Morrigan tips her glass to Gio and kind of nods at Cal and then walks towards where Derek is.
And he's kind of looking over, and then he just kind of looks towards the left, and his eyes focus in on you, and then the rest of the world disappears from him, and he just kind of looks at you, and his breath is taken away for just a second. I mean, and he's not taken in all of you yet. He's just looking at your eyes, and he's caught. And then he kind of shakes himself, and he starts to walk towards you. Well, Morgan, I didn't expect to see you here tonight.
Likewise. Something happening here, Derek?
Yeah. You wouldn't happen to see Phoebe Dare around, and he's trying really hard not to keep his eyes on you. He's trying to get into the job, but you can see that the struggle is really difficult for him as your connection still has a strong hold on him.
Phoebe was here not 5 minutes ago.
Really? And he looks back at you. Let's step outside over there real quick. And he kind of points, and then he begins to reach out for you to kind of guide you, and then he realizes that's a little too much, and he just kind of points. And so the both of you make your way out onto an outside terrace where there is a pool and there's more activity, but there's a spot where you can just kind of grab a quiet moment. And he looks at you and he says, there's been something really strange going on tonight. both of her sisters have disappeared, and we're not sure what's going on. We heard through her assistant that she was going to be here at this particular event, so we thought we'd come and inform her and get her involved, and hopefully she can help us figure out what's going on. We're not quite sure yet. We're treating it as a missing persons case, although there was a fair bit of commotion down at the downtown main branch of the public library, and there's a couple of dead bodies there. We're not too confident about exactly what happened yet, but it was violent. Detective Devereaux is working that scene right now. Hopefully we get some more information shortly. So you did see her. They're here tonight, though.
Yes. However, what does your gut tell you? Sounds like something not good.
My gut tells me that there's more than meets the eye here, and that we need to get Phoebe into protective custody immediately. The Dairy sisters are worth a lot of money. I mean, Pandora's Delights just introduced a new line, and it's been quite successful. So I suspect foul play.
Well, if Phoebe's up for chairman, then yes, that is even more reason for you to find her.
Well, given the murder of Gerald Walker a couple of weeks ago, I mean, Catherine's working that case, and she still hasn't figured out what's going on there. He kind of looks. He's still trying to not completely focus on you. And you can see that there is a nervous twitch a little bit going along with that. Yeah. Do you want to help? Do you want to work the room? You go one side, I'll go the other. We're going to help the two officers kind of find her. I know you're out on the social occasion. I know that you do a lot of work for the Walker Foundation, and that's why you're here. But I mean, I could really use your help.
Derek, like old times. Let's do this. Come on.
Okay. And so he directs you to go along one side of the room or towards the left as he goes towards the right.
Okay.
The two officers appear to be kind of moving around the room through the center of it. And we're going to cut back to Johnny. Where is Johnny?
Johnny's probably standing over in front of the kitchen, and he's like,
"Hey, you! What are you eating there? That's for the guests." And it's like the head waiter. Have you really not eaten? Listen, come here. And he points to a chef, and she says, he looks to the chef, and she's like, Can you make sure he gets a plate of something? He looks really hungry. Here, take 5 minutes. Eat over here. She's going to take care of you, and then kind of come back. Come out there when you're ready. Don't eat the food off the plates. The serving plates. Take care of yourself.
Okay. I will have a huge sandwich.
Everything on it?
Yes.
And so the chef begins to prepare you.
Special. Oh yeah.
the Dagwood?
Dagwood special, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and so as you're watching this sort of assemble, you see a little bit of a commotion behind the chef in a storeroom, kind of off the kitchen. You see that there is an argument going on between a woman and a man. It's hushed tones, but it's clearly that there's something going on.
Do I recognize anyone?
The room is dark enough so that you only get the outline. You would have seen both of them in the party, but it's too dark for you to tell for sure.
I would be curious, since being young and being like something's going on. So Johnny's gonna just kind of walk up. He's not stealthy, but he's going to attempt to be stealthy so he can hear what they're talking about, because it looks like there might be a fight happening. So he wants to avoid the fight,
So is this the first roll of the game, and we're going to do a sneak around?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to do a sneak around.
All right.
Is it just 2d6? Because I have nothing to add to it.
So you have nothing, that you have no power tags that really add to it.
I mean, I could put impressive.
What does that mean to you, though? I mean, let's talk about that for a second.
I mean, I don't impressive. Like for what my abilities are, I don't think impressive would be. But he's just not a sneaky character, so it'd be like straight up, kind of normal. He's not hungry because he was just eating.
I was just going to ask about the weakness of hunger, if that applied or not. So
it did not. So that's why he was eating the hors d'oeuvres, because he's getting hungry, and then like he was like, and he's got a dagwood on the way, so he's thinking about that. But he's also like, that dagwood's going to take a little bit to make, so he's going to distract himself and like sneak up and listen to what these people are talking about.
Right.
And then if he gets caught, he's just going to play dumb.
Okay. All right, we'll roll it.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, so with a 9, you get a complication, but you get to choose one of the following: someone unimportant notice. Or wait a minute, you do get there, so you do make it, right? But there is a little bit of a complication. I'll describe the complication as it happens, right?
Okay.
So you kind of make your way towards the door. That's where the conversation is happening, but you're off to the side, and so you're able to hear bits and pieces of it. And what you hear basically boils down to, Phoebe, you need to understand. You need to take yourself out of the running for chairman here. I can provide and I can provide a better leadership for the Walker Foundation. Harold, I'm not doing this again. I know you want it. I know you want to be in charge. I know you want that organization. You've been trying to get on that organization since before Gerald took it over, but that's just not going to happen. Phoebe, you have to understand this is incredibly important. I need access to their resources. Harold, the conversation is done. Really. And you hear him just groan and get really angry for a second. Fine. And he storms out and he bumps into you. Hey, kid. What are you doing there? What's your name again, Johnny?
I wouldn't budge at all. Like if he bumped into me, he would just like walked into a wall.
Okay, so here's the thing about that. He is also pretty damn strong and pretty damn immovable. So bumping into you two would bounce off of each other because you're both in the same, like from a metagame perspective. He definitely is a mythos. He definitely has similar properties in respect to tags that you would. So,
real quick, what did he want? I'm taking notes. So,
he wants Phoebe to step out from consideration for chairman. He wants to be chairman of the Walker Foundation, and he would like Phoebe to step down.
Be chairman. Okay.
And he apparently has been seeking this since prior to Gerald Walker taking over as chairman for the Walker Foundation. Basically chairman of the board.
All right. Okay.
Damn it, Speedy. I just saw what you wrote in chat. Damn it. Okay. So he bumps into you. Damn.
Oh!
Why are you sneaking around, kid? And he just begins to move on.
And was this the guy I saw earlier who was like?
This was Harold Bjorn, the guy that was commenting on the fact that you looked quite a strapping young man, right? He was commenting on your.
But I'm like a skinny twig, so he looked very confused at that comment. But like after feeling that, he's like, "Oh, that never usually happens."
And he just, continues to move on. And Phoebe steps out for just a second. She's like, Johnny, are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay. Well, and if anybody asks, I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be on a phone call. So,
okay.
And she steps out towards the back of the kitchen and out a door onto, into the back part of the grounds. And so we're going to cut back to
wait, is my sandwich done?
Your sandwich is done.
Okay.
The chef hands it over and says, "This is the best I can do. I do any more, it's going to fall over."
I just start eating. It does not matter.
No,
does it go from Does it go from the dagwood like this to down to the hand size?
I was gonna say I linked an image of a dagwood in Twitch chat, so you'll know what it looks like.
All right. Oh my God, That is beautiful.
That
oh
is
my
the
God,
dank
that is
one.
beautiful. All right. So we're going to cut back to Gio and Cal. You notice that the two cops are, kind of the uniform officers are kind of moving through the crowd right now. And you watched Morrigan walk out with the detective, and then she's come back in, and now she's doing something very similar along with the two, along with the detective she's going one side of the room, the detective's going the other side of the room.
So right before I jump into this thing, I wanted to tell Mangoat81 that with regard to the Transformers is awesome. So anyway, moving on.
That was impressive.
Thank you. So Cal, just looking from the police officers, kind of slowly turns to face Gio and is like, why is it every time you and I get together, this kind of shit happens?
Telling you. Weird shit bringing us together.
Is it because we're together, or do we come together because this shit is happening?
I don't know, but I feel like it has to be one of them.
Thanks.
Think it has something to do with Mr. Walker again? Investigation's still ongoing, right?
Everything here has something to do with Mr. Walker, technically.
That's true.
They can't be investigating his death because then Bicella would still be here. I shouldn't say that. That's not fair to her.
I mean... Wait, which one was Bicella?
Oh, well, Miss Sable and I came to a meeting of minds, so it's probably not her. Besides, that's not exactly her style. No, I meant Detective Devereaux.
Sorry, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, she's the police detective that interviewed us that kept turning me down. I'm not accustomed to that. I mean, it's impressive because it doesn't happen very often, so it's refreshing, but it's a painful kind of refreshing. Like, peeling a blister off kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean...
I can't even imagine what they're going to ask us. Did you notice the woman at the party? Yeah, there's fucking 500 women here.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything too suspicious, although well, no. She was talking to the detectives. I doubt she had anything to do with it.
And so as you guys are having this conversation, Whitney Knox comes back up and says, hey, have the officers come and talk to you guys yet?
No, in fact, we were just talking
Not
about
today.
That.
Okay. And he looks at that comment just for a second as he catches it, and he's like, he shakes it off. They're looking for Phoebe Dere.
She was just here.
Really?
Yeah, she came up, said hi.
Gave her a drink.
Yeah.
Do you know where she went?
Last I saw, she was headed back probably towards the kitchen. She said she was going to work the room some more.
Yeah, I know. We're all working the room here. Well, I mean, she's up for chairman, so am I. And but the officers here. This is really strange. It's kind of putting a damper on my ability to, you see him wringing his hand. My ability to work the room and get the votes that I need.
Have you talked to them yet?
That's why I'm coming to talk to you, is because they just talked to me and mentioned that, and so I'm asking the people that I know that are watching the room. I mean, I've seen Gio do his job. He's been doing his job really well, and Cal, you know everybody in here, so I just wanted to make sure that you know what was going on.
I mean, with the cops around, is work in the room really your biggest concern right now?
Well, it just people are starting to get concerned, and folks are starting to get agitated. Gio, I just want you to know, there's probably going to be more drinks that you're going to need to serve, because it's when cops showed up in the past, it's been a problem, right?
Okay, I'll tell you what. let me go give it an attempt to talking to these guys. I'm going to see if I can convince them to, instead of walking through this room, bring people individually to another room so that they don't put a damper on this. If they're not actively searching for this is not a crime scene. They don't really have the right to coming in here and disturbing shit.
But I mean, Cal, they're looking for Phoebe because her sisters are missing. So it's not like it's more than that. We need to find her now. There's apparently something going on.
All right, which would you rather me do? Talk to the cops or go find Phoebe?
If you can help find Phoebe, that would be amazing. Gio, just keep serving the drinks. I don't know what's going on, but I think people are going to be agitated. Cal, you've got my number. Text me or whatever. If I'm in the room, and he walks off. And so we're going to cut to Morrigan kind of working her way around the room and then finding herself in the kitchen, kind of checking it and looking around as you see Johnny finishing his dagwood. Second one, because he was still hungry.
And the chef is like, saucers.
So when you see Johnny, it's just like you see like this kid with like spiky, dusty blonde hair, and like he's like super scrawny and skinny. He's got like big glasses on, and he's just kind of like hunched over, finishing this sandwich. He looks like like a ravenous like wolf just like ate this thing. And and he's like a younger looking kid. He looks like you imagine in between like his later teens. And he's about like 5'4", maybe like 100 pounds soaking wet. And he's just like sitting there, and he's like, as soon as he like notices you, like his like eyes are like big, and he's like,
I'm not eating off the plate.
You're Johnny, right?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. How do you know my name?
I listened to Phoebe talking to you and overheard your name.
Oh. Yeah, that's my name. Hi.
Have you seen her by chance? I need to talk to her.
Oh, she went out the back.
Oh.
She had to make a phone call. She was talking to Harold or something. Whatever. But, that's I mean, she's out there.
Okay. Could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Could you just make sure nobody else comes in here?
Oh, okay. Why?
There's a detective outside, and they're a little concerned, so I just want to make sure that nobody.
Why are the cops here? Did something happen?
No, not here. They're just making sure that Phoebe's okay. There's something that happened in her family. It'll be okay though.
Well, I mean, like, wait. So okay. All right. I'll make sure no one comes in here.
Thank
what
you.
about him though? And I point at the chef.
He can stay and he can leave, but he can't come back in.
Okay. So I'll just hold the door shut. And I just go hold the door shut.
Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome.
Morgan's going to go towards the back where Johnny pointed out that Phoebe went.
And so you go out towards the back of the kitchen, and there is a door leading out onto the backside of the estate. And when you step outside, of course, the majority of the party is going on sort of off to your left towards the center of the sort of the back area. And as you look outside, the grounds kind of go on for maybe 150, 200 feet. And then there's like a cliff drop, and you can see the expanse of the rest of the city. And in the distance, you can see downtown and, a couple other parts of the city. And you can see the glimmer and glow coming from just below, but you can't actually see any of the buildings coming from Tinseltown itself. It's a very vibrant sort of crazy nightlife kind of a thing.
Okay.
And you're just kind of looking around, and you realize that from the center, there are, these maze hedges that kind of, are placed on each side from the center of it. And so there's like a little path, kind of walkway into basically a hedge maze on standing in front of you. And then there's a pathway sort of walking around the house. And if you kind of look down, you notice that there are recent footsteps, in the dirt leading towards into the hedge maze.
Okay. Does it appear to have a single footing? Like one person made the footsteps,
Yes.
or?
Yes, it's clearly a woman's footsteps, high-heeled shoes, kind of a thing. And they find you can see that they lead sort of into the hedge maze.
Okay. Morgan's actually gonna shout out to Phoebe. Phoebe, are you in here?
No human woman walks a hedge maze in high heels. What are you talking about?
No answer, I'm guessing.
Is she human? No, there's no answer from Phoebe.
Okay. Morgan's gonna look around, make sure that nobody's watching.
Everybody is clearly distracted with the revelry of the party that's going on. So, and there are some shadows that you can play with here if you need to.
Okay, so I'm gonna walk around one of the corners of the hedge maze that's farthest away from everybody, and I'm going to turn myself into a crow.
Okay. And what do you do next?
Well, so the process to become a crow, basically, it very much it looks like a bunch of scales and feathers just like automatically kind of cover her entire body as wings kind of pull out from her back, and she just kind of it's almost like a molecules just coming together, and then she's a crow. So, and there's no trace of anything else. Okay,
and so with that. Does it leave any evidence of any kind? Are your clothes left behind, or is your bag left behind, or anything, or is it just a part of the process? It just sort of morphs all into.
Yeah, it's part of the process. Okay. It's very much like if I'm equating it to what people probably know, it's very much like Mystique, where it comes this.
I was picturing it as Animorphs from way back in the day.
Yeah.
Animorph. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. And so you do that, and nobody kind of catches you. And so you're kind of there in the shadows in crow form.
Okay. So are there any trees? I mean, the hedges are probably pretty tall since I can't see Phoebe inside.
Yeah, it's about a 15-foot tall hedge.
Okay. So I'm going to fly overhead and basically get a bird's eye view for the entire hedge.
All right. So you take off, and you're sort of angling up and then kind of floating down just over the entire hedge, and you get about halfway through, and it's a maze, so probably about 50 feet wide, not too many paths through, maybe two obvious paths, most of one that leads into a dead end and then comes back, and then you've got the next one that kind of leads into the center. And as you're kind of coming into the center, there's a set of benches and a fountain sort of in the center, and it's probably a 15 by 15 area that's open. Nobody's there. The water is kind of trickling, and so you continue on sort of towards the front of the hedge maze, and you don't see any evidence of her whatsoever. And so you kind of glide around and come back a little bit, and you notice that there's a glint on one of the benches as you're kind of coming back over that center section.
Okay, I'm going to land on the bench.
Okay. And in front of you clearly is a flip phone, a cell phone. And that's all that there is. And it's active as if it's recently been used, but not like there's not an active call or anything. And there's not, it's in a hung up state. So.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to transform back.
Okay.
And pick up the phone.
All right. It's not cold, but it's not like it was not like held in the last 5 minutes, but it's not like ice cold, like nobody's held it.
Is it locked or is it unlocked? Can I see who
it's a flip phone, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's you have access to everything, and you see that there's a last call and there's a phone number.
Okay. I'm going to call the number.
Okay. And when you call, hello.
Hello. And my response is in the same voice as Phoebe's.
Okay. Oh, Miss Dere or Mrs. Dere. Sorry, Ms. Dere. Yes. Did you get my messages about your sisters?
Yes, I did. I'm a little concerned. Could you tell me a little bit more about what's going on?
We don't know. Detective Roth and some police officers in uniform should be coming to escort you back downtown to figure out or to bring you back into the investigation. Alexis, she's disappeared from the library, and as I understand it, Megan was just outside of Xanadu when she vanished. There's every. They're treating it as a missing persons case right now, although clearly there was a problem at the public library, and the rumor is that there were some dead bodies there.
But they haven't found either of my sisters.
There's been no sign as of yet.
I don't understand. Could I tell who this person is? Like, does she sound like she's like a secretary or like a?
She sounds like she's very familiar with Phoebe, so it sounds probably like a personal assistant, an executive assistant of some kind. What you do know about Phoebe is that she is the CEO of Pandora's Delights. So she is, she is the businesswoman of the three sisters, right? So what you do know about Pandora's Delights is that it's run by three sisters, Phoebe, Alexis, and Megan. Phoebe is the CEO. Megan is sort of the day-to-day business person, and then Alexis is the day-to-day person, and then Megan is sort of the marketing and sort of like the face of the company.
Okay, can I do psychology over the phone with this woman to figure out if she's being, if she's like holding back information or being purposefully malicious or anything like that?
It's sort of like an investigate.
Yeah.
Like an investigate role. Okay,
Yeah.
sure. You can definitely do that. What power tags do you think apply here?
Psychology and psychoanalysis.
Okay. All right, let me look at your weakness tags real quick just to see if there's anything that applies.
Sure.
I don't think anything does, but I just wanted to confirm here.
Mhm.
All right, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Is it possible to add more points aside from what your power tags are?
There are things like story tags that might apply or status tags that might apply.
Well, I mean, this whoever it is on the other end of the phone thinks this is Phoebe. So it's not like a stranger is interrogating her. So I would think that would give her a little more.
It's so that's a fair point. It should have been a change the game kind of a role.
Okay.
And it's fine. It's we're just going to roll with it.
Yeah.
What I'm going to say is that you're going to get a story tag.
Okay.
Because we just kind of assume. So we're going to as it a story tag, and we'll call that a +1. So you'll be rolling with 3 power tags essentially.
Okay. How do I? Oh, okay. There we go. I got it. I added a plus positive status, I guess, to the sheet.
Okay.
I don't know. So we're gonna do an investigate or
yeah, an investigate seems to make sense. Well, so it would have been a change the game for your impersonating. That's fine. Oh, you missed both times too. How is that possible?
Go figure.
Oh God.
This is how I was rolling earlier when I was testing the macros too.
Oh wow, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so with a change the game, with an investigate roll and a miss, it means I get a hard move against you.
Cool.
So,
I don't know if that macro is right because it's got like 9 zeros in it, and then
I don't know. I was just rolling off the sheet. Should I just roll a standard?
Yeah, just roll 2d6 and then add 3, and let's see what happens. Okay. I think it's just we've got to fix that. Okay, much better.
Yeah,
right?
I will not roll from the sheet. Let's just leave that.
So exactly. So with that, you get 3 questions essentially, 3 clues.
Okay.
And the mechanic of clues actually there is a much more significant, but we've been playing this week just with basic elements of the game. So you just get to ask 3 questions.
Okay.
And you can get answers based on that. And this is the kind of thing where if you need to throw it out to the table, this is a great time for collaboration in respect to the questions.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would like to just because this is our first run through on something like that.
Okay.
My general thought, just so everybody knows, is kind of figuring out if Phoebe met with somebody in advance, whether it had to do with her sisters or not. Morrigan has some inclination that it obviously everything has to do with her becoming the chairman. And she has her suspicions around malicious intent because they might not want her there.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of like, that's my brain moving right now. So I'm open to everybody else if they want to contribute on that.
I get the feeling that Morrigan would probably be like, using Phoebe's voice. I'm not sure I can deal with this right now. My brain is going like 12 different ways at the same time. Remind me what my schedule is for today.
That's what I was thinking too.
Okay, so the first question is about your schedule.
Yeah.
We're gonna call this woman Mary.
Okay.
Mary, your personal assistant. There's like, I completely understand. I know that that you had a couple of meetings earlier today before the gala, and I understand you're struggling. So earlier today, you met with the sisters. It was your weekly meeting where you all kind of just talk about the business, and it's usually that closed door kind of a thing. So that was earlier this morning, and then you had a lunch date with Mr. Whitney Knox before that, and I believe he wanted to talk about making his case for you stepping down from being considered for the chairman and him wanting the chairman position. He wanted to do some good and also kind of tie it into some of the issues he's having with his studio right now. And then you're there tonight, and then you were supposed to have a nightcap at a downtown club called Xanadu. I've heard you mention it once and twice, and I know that Megan really likes it, but you really don't. But she asked you to kind of stop by. So, that's your schedule that was your schedule for today.
Okay. And when was the last time that I met with Harold?
Oh, Mr. Bjorn. Let me double check. Let's see. It's probably about a week ago. He invited you out to dinner, and you refused. So he came down to the office. I believe that conversation was also around. It was just a week after Mr. Walker's funeral, and you were still a little upset about the situation. I know that you and Mr. Walker were really good friends. She kind of slips up saying Gerald. It was last week, and he was also there to talk to you about the chairman position. But he was being really nice that day. He brought in flowers, and you shared the candies that he brought with the office. So I assume that went well. I don't know.
Okay. So that's two questions that I asked. And
that's correct.
Is there anybody else that wants to contribute their thoughts?
What you have for breakfast?
God damn it.
Would you like to know? I can answer that for you because I actually do know.
I can't think of anything. You got her schedule. Yeah, who she was supposed to meet with.
I mean, I think like the fact that this person slipped up and said Gerald instead of Mr.
Oh,
Walker
I know, yeah.
Something like that could be something worth digging into. Are the questions only questions you can ask her, or can you ask the GM based on like context of what she already said?
It's so in this particular case, because it's a conversation, I think it kind of falls in the line of, how additional, you could ask her more about that, right? Like you could ask her why she, you ask for Gerald. I mean, if Morrigan knew Mary more, like it had that personal relationship, she might know why that she slipped up and said Gerald, right? Or, there is a reason for that, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't think that you would ask that question without, because it's a conversation. If this was an investigation where you're looking at a room or you're looking at, evidence for something, that's where there's a little bit more leeway. But because this is focused on a social interaction, it seems like, at least to me, in my interpretation of the way the game is supposed to be run and the way that we've, kind of interpreted the rules, it should be tied down to that social situation.
Mm.
So.
The one other thing I was thinking was like, based on her reaction when you like first picked up the phone, did it sound like she was surprised that there was an answer at all? Like, was she expecting Phoebe to be missing?
Yeah. That's a good point. That would be under psychology for me when I like analyze how she responded when I called.
Right.
I'm down for that to figure out motivation there.
I agree.
Thanks, Go eat a sandwich.
I was gonna go with something else, but I like that better.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, based on your expert opinion, Dr. Kane, you would say that she is not being false, or she is not surprised, and that her normal talkative sort of demeanor is who she is.
Mm-hmm.
She seems intimidated by Phoebe, but she doesn't seem surprised or false in any way. She seems genuine and just nervous.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, Mary, thank you so much. I will talk to you later. I need to go sort this stuff out with the police, and just give me a call if you hear about anything, and if my sisters call or anything, just let me know right away. Don't talk to anybody else. Just call me right away.
Okay, Ms. Dere. You have a good night.
Thank you.
I hope everything works out.
Thanks, Mary. I'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Okay. This is bad. Phoebe's not here, but her phone is. Is there evidence of a struggle around me? Like the dirt being kicked up or anything else where the phone was dropped?
No.
I don't
Do you want to investigate the area more?
Yeah, I'll do an my problem is that this is not my forte, really. My forte is reading people.
Do you head back and try to find Derek to bring him in, or do you?
I have to, because I just tampered with evidence. So yeah.
Yeah. You also just changed like the last known time that she was contacted.
I got that covered. No worries. Yeah. So, okay. I'm basically, since I saw the bird's eye view, I assume I know how to get out of the maze. Or are you going to make me roll that?
No, you're going to. No, I'm not going to.
I'm just saying. Okay. All right.
I'm not that bad of a GM. Like, I could be that much of a jerk, but I'm not.
Roll for everything. Right. You forgot to
make her solve an actual maze on paper.
So there's this website where I'm going to have you just like, do this thing. It's sort of like that weird GTA, like maze thing that you have to do when you're hacking. No, that's good. You're good.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to immediately go back through the kitchen. Johnny, thank you so much.
I'm like holding the door. I'm like, yeah. Is anyone banging on the other side?
I was going to say there are probably three other waiters out there.
I'm like, the door's broken. I'm trying to fix it. I'm just holding it shut.
So the door, you keep hearing slams on the door and bangs on the door, but it doesn't even budge at all as you're just kind of holding it there. And she walks in and she hears this banging as you're just doing this.
I'm like holding the door. I like look back at you. I'm like, can I open the door now?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I fixed it. And let go and like pretend I got it. And I was like, and like see everyone staring at me. I was like, I did it. Hi.
They're all kind of looking at you as they're walking in, but you see like 5 or 6 waiters walking in with empty plates. I'm glad you fixed it, Johnny. Man, we're strapped. Here, grab a plate. We need you out there.
Oh, okay. I grab like 2 plates and I run out there. Like.
And so behind you, Morgan, you hear Johnny just kind of doing his thing and just kind of moving through the crowd. And when you look across the room, you see that Derek is currently talking to Cal and Gio, sort of standing there at the bar. And we're going to cut to Cal and Gio, and so you can walk up at any time. But so the Derek is my name is Detective Roth. I'm here. We're looking for Phoebe Dere. Have you seen her tonight?
Yes.
Do you know if she's still here? We're kind of currently looking for her, and he's kind of scanning around, looking to both sides of the bar, and just kind of looking the crowd over as he's talking to you. He's not really paying attention to you, but he's engaging in the conversation.
I think it was mac and cheese and kielbasa.
What?
There we go. Hi, my name is Calvin.
And he reaches out a hand reluctantly. Detective Derek Roth.
Thank you. Now, to answer your question, yes, I did see her. Last she mentioned to me she was going to continue working the room, and she was walking that way.
And he looks around and he sees Morgan kind of, heading towards him. To the kitchen, you said?
Well, that way.
Oh, okay. But your name is Gio, right? And he points back to Gio.
Yeah, I saw the same thing.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay, Cal, Gio. I might have to come back to you. And he turns and he says, "Give me a second, guys." And he moves directly towards Morgan because it looks like she's coming to him with thing. And so he, about 5 feet away, he kind of runs into you. What's up?
She leans in like to make sure that nobody can hear and like kind of like almost like giving him a hug. Found Phoebe's phone. I called somebody on it and my fingerprints are on it. And also Phoebe's missing.
What?
Yeah. What? The last person she called and talked to was her assistant, Mary. I got absolutely nothing useful out of her.
She's calling.
That was really great timing.
It was.
Okay. Derek, I have a really bad feeling about this.
3 sisters missing. Do we know where did you're going to have to take me to it? And he says, lead the way.
Mm-hmm.
And you take him back through the maze?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a question for Cal real quick. They're 5 feet away, whispered tones. One of your power tags is heightened senses. Does that include hearing?
Not as much. It's mostly taste and smell and touch.
Okay. Would you hear them, though?
5 feet away? Yeah.
And even in whispered tones, 5 feet away, you'd hear them.
The music isn't that loud, so.
Well, yeah, it's not the crazy, sort of jazz, sort of weird big band stuff of Xanadu. It's the, the mellow sort of tones of the quintet, sort of off in the corner. So,
but regardless whether he could hear them or not, I mean, the request was, I'd said to Whitney, "Do you want me to talk to the cops, or do you want me to go find Phoebe?" And the answer was, "Go find Phoebe." So regardless of what they're saying, Calvin, having shaken Phoebe's hand earlier today, is like, "I'll be back," and he's following the scent.
Okay, we're gonna cut to Morgan making her way through the maze with Derek. How did you know to come in here?
I saw footsteps from outside and I just assumed that she went in here for some privacy. But when I called out, she wasn't responsive. And when I finally got to the center, well, nothing, just her phone. No scuffle, no nothing, just her phone.
That's really strange. And the both of you kind of enter into the center area, and there's the two benches and the fountain sort of trickling. And for a second, he is just kind of drawn out of the moment because it throws him into a memory of the previous relationship that the two of you shared. And you catch him as he's kind of doing this, having this little nostalgic moment. And he kind of shakes himself. Sorry. Which bench?
Yeah, this one over here.
And he kind of looks at it. Yeah, there's he's looking around, looking at the footsteps, or looking for footsteps. I mean, it's cobblestone, but there's some dirt and some scuffle, but I don't see any footprints. And he's just he's starting to do a methodical thing.
Mm-hmm.
And did you go to the other side of the maze? Did you notice anything?
I didn't. I decided that it's probably best to bring you over at this point. So.
All right. And he pulls out his phone and he starts to send a text message. And at that moment, kind of sniffing the air, Cal just kind of wanders through into that central spot in the maze.
Oh, Hi again.
Cal.
Hey.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I was just kind of wandering around. Should I leave you two alone?
Not at all. Maybe you can actually help us.
Oh.
Well, Phoebe's missing. So more eyes
Oh.
looking for her is probably better than just, 2 pair.
That would be true and correct. Sure. Where have you already checked?
Well, I found her phone over here, and Derek and I'm sorry, the detective and I,
Kind of looks over at you as you say to Derek.
have not been
This
able
kind
to.
of grin sort of spreads across. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we're kind of out of ideas, but maybe you can see something that we can't.
Maybe.
She is intentionally flattering you.
It's working. But he's trying to make it look like he's not bloodhounding right now. So it's like
Yeah, of course.
And he'll just sort of wander around and see if, obviously the scent is probably fairly strong at the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And he followed the trail in here, and he's trying to see if it goes back out the way it came in or if it goes out the other way.
Do you want to roll an investigate to kind of figure that out?
Sure.
All right.
I can.
So what power tags apply?
Definitely heightened senses.
Okay.
I think that's about it.
Yeah. That seems right. Okay. So go ahead and roll an investigate.
Doesn't apply in this case.
You're in
more-
a crowd. You're in a group. So I could see that being an argument. We talked about it applying in a social situation, but I think in group situations, because of your weakness tag for party animal, I think that also makes sense.
Okay.
So go ahead and add it.
All right. Here we go.
Well. All right. You get 2 questions to ask.
Does the scent trail lead out of the maze?
Absolutely does, towards the back of the maze, past the center area and then onward.
Is that scent alone?
Oh no. In fact, there are some really interesting animal smells also associated with it. Not
okay.
not
Not
the
Julia
one
Sable.
I'm familiar with. Yeah.
Not Julia Sable.
Right. Knowing that it does in fact lead that direction, are there footprints that I can go, oh look, there are footprints leading out the back? Because she didn't go that way. She went directly for Derek. So she may not have seen footsteps leading out.
No, there are not footsteps there.
You said you went back out the way you came, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to give you one other clue based on the way that you asked those questions, or I'm going to give you one other element of that clue. The smell is actually on top of the hedges, leading that direction.
You did not go this way.
No.
Okay. I think that's the way to go.
Okay.
Not getting a lot more in here. If you, and I'm pointing at the detective, you, Derek, don't have a problem with it, I'm going to go that way.
Morgan, do you want to go with him? I need to make sure that they get here and that the CSI gets here and we start the process here.
Yeah.
This place is going to be swarming in a few minutes. And I need to go out and talk to Mr. Knox to let him know that I think the party is really over and that we need to hold all the guests here. So can you You got this?
Yeah, I do. Shouldn't we tell people that Phoebe's missing?
Not yet. The suspects may still be here. Anybody involved might still be here. Let me go and deal with Mr. Knox. I've got CSI and I've got some officers that are going to help us kind of hold everybody here until we can ask them some questions.
They're probably already gone. You do realize that.
I do, but I need to know if anybody else had seen anything.
Okay.
Just get this started, and then I will do what I can to. It'll be like old times, and he just kind of steps back through towards the front of the maze.
All right, there, Cal. Seems like you know what direction to go in for some reason, so I'll follow your lead.
And Cal's gonna make his way through the thing. I can't remember Morgan's abilities. Is she especially skilled at seeing rifts?
Not specifically, no.
Because my next question was going to be, what's the floor of the maze made out of? Is it like sand or something?
No, it's like a cobblestone. It's like a really well kind of refined cobblestone, well shaped, right? But it is, it's done up like more of like a classical kind of a style. So it's not just like concrete or brick or whatever. It is actual.
Right, but since it's not sand, he's not leaving hoof prints.
No, he is not leaving hoof prints right now.
Okay.
Although there is a clicking sound every time he takes a step with his boots.
Right. So he'll make his way through the thing, stopping every now and then, because if the scent is going across the top of the hedges, he won't pick it up again until he comes back around to that line.
Right, and it just you follow it all the way through to the other side of the maze.
And what is on this side? I presume it's close to where either the
it's close to the edge, essentially where there's like a little bit of a drop, and then it kind of leads to the next kind of mansion place. But when you get to there, you look over the side. There's like a wrought iron kind of fence that just kind of it serves as a barrier to you actually falling off down below. About 25 feet below, there's one of those small kind of streets that are really only kind of super thin and really only for sports cars or whatever. But as you kind of get there and you're looking over, you can see at the bottom of the wrought iron fence, as like if something got caught on it, there's like a piece of cloth right there. And that grabs your attention.
Does it look like part of what Phoebe was wearing?
No, it does not look like what Phoebe was wearing. It actually looks like a piece of canvas or like a some sort of like jean material, and there is something laid on top of it, but it's like kind of flapping in the wind. So all you can see is that there's like maybe it's like a patch or something.
This is at the bottom of this little.
Well, so that like the wrought iron fence is like 3 feet tall, right? And it's like there are hooks sort of on the other side that kind of, if you were to drop over, if you did it just wrong, you would get caught up a little bit and like maybe rip your.
Okay. Is that within reach though?
Yes, it's about 3 feet down.
Okay. You happen to have gloves on you or something?
No. That's not
Yeah,
the
me
kind of
neither.
doctor that I am.
Oh. Okay.
I can get it though if you'd like.
Well, I'm just worried about one
My
of us.
fingerprints are already on the phone, so it's not a big deal.
Well, it could be. Having your fingerprints on one piece of evidence is one thing. Having trace evidence of you on two of them is very incriminating.
I'm not really worried about that. They trust me, and so I think we can work that out, no problem. Besides, it's better me dealing with that than you dealing with that.
No arguments.
Great. This time, Morgan is actually going to do something very subtle. And she's actually going to use something in her theme to prevent fingerprints.
Okay. So we're going to call that a roll of some kind.
I'm trying not to have Cal be aware of what I'm doing. So.
Okay. Well, let's just call it subtle then, and then you can just go ahead and do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
we'll
wasn't
just.
sure if it was
I mean,
like stealth thing or whatever.
So let's just call it. You can just go ahead and do it because it's not like it's not super critical. You know it's there, and it's something
Sure.
we know that you can do. So we're gonna roll with it.
Okay.
So you grab for it, and when you grab it, it comes off, and you see that there is a patch on it, and the patch says it's got a weird sort of pictograph headpiece that it actually, when you kind of stare at it a little bit more, ends up being a skull, and at the bottom of it is kind of written skulls. But when you pick it up and you do this, Cal, you get a whiff off of it that just hits you of like jackal, maybe hyena, but you don't understand where the hell that comes from. Like it just overwhelms your senses for just a second.
Oh.
You okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Do we need to go back inside and get you a drink?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that. Is there anything else that we need to see here?
I don't think so.
Okay. Is there any like blood, obviously, anywhere nearby?
No, but the smells are coming. There's also the smells continue down, Cal.
Whoever took her went that way.
We can't, unless you have some kind of climbing gear that I'm not aware of. I don't think we can make our way down too safely.
I'm not a billy goat. No. It just starts walking back inside.
All right, we're gonna cut to inside where Johnny is, still trying to serve things, and it's just kind of chaotic, right? Because everybody's hungry, and these kind of needing to feed people, and he's at the same time he's still kind of occasionally just kind of grabbing pieces off, and so as he does that, Detective Roth kind of brushes past him and goes, "Whoa, kid, I'm sorry. You're stronger than you look," and he just continues on. And the detective kind of makes his way to the front room, and Gio, you see this as well, and you see the officers kind of whispering to the detective, and then the officers begin to move out and slowly kind of make their way to the doors, and they're asking people to come inside, kind of just start to stage in the area. And as you're watching this, Gio and Johnny, you notice that a couple of the food servers kind of take this in and slowly begin to kind of back away and turn and head back towards the kitchen.
Do they have full hors d'oeuvres still?
Yes, they're pretty. Their plates are still pretty full.
No, I'm stopping them. And so I'm walking up to them. I'm like, "No, you're not done yet."
These aren't fresh. We need to go get some fresh ones, Johnny. I think they need some over there. You might want to.
No, you can't yell at me for eating food and then try to get away.
We need to get fresh food. I mean, it's clear something's going on. Johnny, I got some pot in here. I don't need to get busted again. Okay.
Is it even legal yet here?
That's the thing. It's I don't. And he turns and begins to head towards. As you can see, two others, also young sheepish gentlemen, just kind of moving towards the kitchen. Kind of.
Do I know their names?
You do not. So you were hired here as a friend of your parents who needed some extra help for this particular gala because a couple of their people took out sick. So you didn't get a chance to meet everybody. You do know the person who hired you, that your parents' friend. His name is Peter. Peter Wolf.
Okay.
Subtle.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm going for. I gotta make up a name on the spot. Of course, I'm gonna be subtle. Damn it.
I see the other guys leave. I was like, "Where are you guys going?"
The food's not fresh. We'll be right back.
Why is that? What?
3 of them move into this, and Gio, you notice Johnny trying to stop them, and you notice that something's wrong.
Yeah. Gio has kind of been expecting that things might turn south, and so he's got about 12 drinks laid out with name cards in front of them.
All right, wait a minute. Because you said it, what are the drinks and who are the 12 people?
All right, so
this is what you get for asking me the name of Clav. I mean, Clem, or what was his name?
Aldo.
Aldo.
Clavaldo.
I like
One of
that
the drinks is Clamato. Yeah.
Clamato for Clavaldo.
Yeah.
We've got 2 old fashions for Brusco, a Manhattan again for Phoebe in case she turns up. Probably not, but I figure someone will take that anyways. Seeing her name there, I know that one of the servers will probably just grab it. We've got a sidecar for one of the officers trying to grab something on the side, a Negroni for Miss Haverschnatz.
Oh,
her.
Yeah.
All right, you did well enough. So don't mess with me, buddy. All right. So those are those drinks are kind of laid out there, and you notice that things are starting to go south a little bit. And Johnny, just as you're watching those guys kind of do their thing, you're hearing a bit of commotion as more officers are starting to arrive through the front door.
Okay. I'm following the guys that are leaving because I think it's dumb that they're like, "Oh, I got pot on me."
Okay, and so as they're making their way through the kitchen, we see Cal and Morrigan kind of walking through that back door and just coming into the kitchen proper. And the moment that they see Morrigan and Cal, they kind of like make a beeline for that storeroom where you saw Phoebe and Harold. And they go into that, and it goes into essentially a dark space, and they just kind of head into there, and you're looking at them going, where the hell are they going, right? And so Morgan and Cal are coming your direction. You're kind of standing right there. What are you doing?
Well, nothing bad ever happens in the storeroom in this game, so I'm not that worried.
Hey, man, this isn't Fog's Brew.
I'm going in after him.
Okay, and so you kind of
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and I stomp off.
You step into that back room, and you can see that the 3 of them are kind of trying to change their clothes, trying to get out of their clothes, and are they're putting on leathers, and they're putting on other things that look like street clothes, basically, whatever that they're wherever they came there in, and they're just like kind of discarding their uniforms. Hey, Johnny, you need to get out of here, man. Go. You're gonna get in trouble.
Well, what am I gonna get in trouble? You're gonna get in trouble. You're leaving. The job's not done yet.
I told you, man. And one of them just gets frustrated. And he's like, "Fine, all right." And he begins to brush past you, and he goes, "Whoa, you're a scrawny kid. What's going on here?"
Nothing.
Then you need to get out of my way, kid. And he goes to push you, and he bounces off you again. And he's like, "Ow! What the hell?"
That you're pretty weak.
We can't get caught here, Johnny. You need to let us go.
Get caught with what? Just fucking ditch the bag somewhere and then fucking do whatever you're doing.
And the third one says, I'm not doing this. And he pulls out a gun. Johnny, you need to move now. And it's at that moment that you see that there's a little bit of a light coming in. You see the glint off the gun, and you see the light kind of playing on his arm, and there's a patch on it, and it says skulls, and it's clearly, it's got the skull pictogram on it.
Do I know what the skulls are?
You know that they're a notorious street gang from the blue collar neighborhood.
Okay. Yeah, I just stand there and I was like, "Are you going to shoot me?"
Johnny, you need to get out of our way right now.
I don't know what you're going to make a lot of noise if you shoot me, and then but the other thing is that why do we need to go? Why are you pointing guns at people? Why do you even have a gun? This is a really weird situation. I don't really know how to handle it. I had a really big sandwich earlier. It was delicious, but why are you threatening me?
And so as you're going through this and you're saying all of this, Morgan and Cal, you are almost to that door when you hear him start to get a little frantic. And you both kind of look at each other and turn around, and you see the scrawny kid standing in front of, what appears to be three individuals, one trying to push, another one clearly, the light coming in from the door is illuminating the room enough that you can see that there's the glint of a gun.
Well, hello. Now, I presume they're not quite finished changing, right?
No, they are not quite finished changing, but they've got most of their clothes on. They've got their trousers on. They've got their shirts on. One of them, is missing socks. One of them only is wearing his undershirt. Hasn't been able to put on his real shirt yet. The one holding the gun, though, is the one that was able to get dressed, and he's got his jacket on.
Now, if I had known there was going to be a striptease at this party, I would have come in a lot sooner.
And he points. The guy looks at Johnny for a second. He says, "I'm going to shoot this guy," and he points the gun at Cal. Unless you move, we need to go now.
As soon as the gun leaves, from me, I'm going to bull rush him.
Okay, and you're going to hit him with all you got.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be interesting.
I'm going. So I have Ultimate Fighter, Indomitable, Parry, Inhuman Strength, or Impressive. I think I can do a +3 with. Okay,
do it.
Oh.
Is there any weakness tag that you think applies here? Because to me, it seems like. Let me pull up the character sheet one more time. Okay, Miles, I need you to work.
I've eaten. I'm not hungry.
You're not ravenous. You're not.
This is not my nemesis.
Nope. Nope, you're fine. You're good. Go ahead and go for it.
+1 for Entourage.
+1 for Entourage, right? And so, we had talked about this earlier in Discord chats, or at least it was discussed. Originally had been limiting to 3, but clearly something in the rules says you can go more. So absolutely, just if you're going to go with 4, roll with 4.
Roll 4. Okay, so whatever this is +1.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have a 4. 10.
Okay, so 10. That's a great success. So that hit him with all you got. On the hit, you target the appropriate status of your choice with tier equaling power, tier being 3, right?
Yeah.
You applied 3 things, plus the story status. This is a tier 4. So you're going to do this guy some serious damage. You also can do 2 things in this particular case. You can take cover, choose superior position. You can add an additional tier of status to this. So instead of it being +4 or status 4 to be status 5. You can describe some collateral damage to go along with it. You can keep hold of the target's attention, or you can gain the upper hand and take a juice, which is basically a tag or a status that you can apply to the next roll, whatever it is.
So I get to pick one of those or 2 of those.
You get to pick 2 of those because you rolled a 10.
So I would have him target me, and then the collateral damage is I throw him into the other 2.
Okay. So he's going to take a status for what? What do you think? What is it? What describes the physical damage that you do to him when you throw him unconscious?
Wait, he has a question.
Yeah. For those of us who have not played this game before or are just watching for the first time, what are the different levels of
status?
Status effect, yeah.
Okay, so status effects go from 1 to 6, and they are descriptive tags that sort of indicate the level of effect, essentially. So a status 1 would be if you were to hit somebody, and the status 1 would be maybe dazed, and status 2 would be your jaw hurts, or bruised jaw, or status 3 would be broke some teeth or broke your jaw, kind of a thing. And then a status 4 typically would knock somebody out. So a typical NPC has got about a tier 4 status,
Mhm.
So you would use a descriptive tag, so whatever that description is, plus the status. And that tracks damage. And so every time you get that particular status, it kind of adds up, and that increases the tier of it. And we'll go into more details. Right now, he's really hitting him so hard with 4 power tags. So it's tier 4. He's going to knock this guy out, right? And so I'm just asking him for I'm asking for a descriptive of what would be a good description of knocking this guy out, and then these guys are going to take collateral damage because you're knocking into them, and I'm going to ask you for a status tag of 1 specifically for that.
So when this guy, as soon as he like trains his weapon off, and I was like, no, and I push him, and like as soon as like I push him, like he like bounds down, like you just see him like all of a sudden like shoot back, and then like as he's shooting back, he spins and like becomes horizontal. And he hits one of the guys, the back of his head hits one of the guys in the other face, and his legs hit the other guy in the face. So one guy, he's knocked out. He has probably a major concussion at the same time. And the other guy who got hit in the face, I'm going to say status 1. So what are some status ones? Like dazed?
Dazed. Dazed is one idea. Another one could be
bloody nose.
Yeah,
bloody
I'll say the other guy has like a broken nose, broken
or
bloody
bruise
nose,
or that kind of a thing. Okay, so we got dazed one, and we've got bloody nose or broken nose. Another one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. So both of those guys kind of they're knocked back as you throw their first friend in front, and they're kind of like they're shaken for a second, giving you an opportunity to do something else, or giving Cal or Morrigan to step up and insert themselves into the situation.
Yeah, because like, as soon as I push him, I'm like, oh, and so yeah, I'm letting them
Morrigan?
step up. Yeah,
I was going to let Morgan go first.
Are you muted?
Yeah, I fixed it. Zoom is actually good because it comes up with this big thing like, hey, you're muted. Okay, so Morrigan is kind of still standing in the doorway. She's leaving enough space for Cal and Johnny if they wanted to get out of the way. Johnny, everything's okay. It's just me and a gentleman named Cal. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay, so there's these, whatever is happening right there. Maybe you should go this way, out this way. Morgan is not trying to fight these other 2 dudes that are still standing, and like the one that's probably yelling because his nose is broken and
he's screaming.
Yeah. She's just like, she doesn't give a crap about those other 2 guys. She just wants to keep Johnny safe.
I'm fine.
Where's the gun?
The gun is flung into the room, sort of off to the side. It's kind of just laying there, but it's not within the reach of either of the 2 of these individuals.
But it's still in the storeroom, not in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, it's in the storeroom.
Okay.
We may need a police officer in here very quickly. Possibly
I will
2.
go get one then.
Thank you. And Cal will look at the other 2 guys who are not unconscious and basically say, now, thus far, your injuries are fairly minor. But I promise you, if you try to fuck with me, and he's going to step on a can of soup with his hooves and just crush it. And
so what is that? What happens to that can of soup? Does the soup material just kind of go everywhere?
Kind of, yeah.
Does it get onto Morrigan or Johnny or anybody else?
Oh, okay. No, I'm still standing there.
Oh, okay, maybe him.
Kind of gets onto his sneakers.
Does it get on wherever it gets on?
I kind of angle my hoof out so it shoots up against the wall.
Okay. All right, and so that happens, and they're like, and the one guy's like, oh, what the hell? God, and the other one's like, oh, all right, and he kind of plops his butt on the ground, and the other guy's like, all right. Okay, and he kind of sits, kind of cross-legged, and can I check my friend?
I'm going to go with no.
All right. And so we're going to cut to Morrigan. Where are you headed?
I'm looking for Derek.
He is currently working with a couple of officers to make sure to coordinate to get all the doors kind of, controlled to bring everybody in. And then it looks like he's heading off into the foyer where there's the entryway hall where there was a study off to the one side. And so you follow him through to this, and he's heading into that study. And there is a couple of other detectives in there, some folks that you've worked with in the past. But Derek is clearly in charge at this point.
Okay.
And they're starting the interview process.
Gotcha. Would Morgan have seen Geo at any point? Like, was he still at the bar, or did he?
Geo was walking back towards where you guys. So
I would have passed you.
Yeah. What do you say?
Okay. In my effort to find Derek, if I saw Geo, I would have interrupted him and said, Geo, I know Cal, there's some serious stuff happening in the kitchen right now in the storeroom. So if you could go and help them while I go get the police, that would be really great.
Yeah, I got that feel. Yeah, go get the police.
Great. Thanks.
Great. Geo in a storeroom, not Geo. Calvin in a storeroom with a bunch of guys that I go what the really serious shit that's going on in there is.
Geo's walking in. What is he? Well, it's a bunch of guys and a minor.
Yep. With the
Who
gun.
probably smells really good to Cal right now because he just has exerted himself.
Don't.
No.
Is this where Chris Matthew comes out and he's like, please have a seat?
Let's see right over here. Okay.
All Calvin had to hear is his voice, and he's like, no, he's still got some aging to do. Let him stay in the cask for another couple of years, and then he'll be ready.
All right, Gio, you walk into finding them.
Jesus, what the hell's going on in here?
I didn't do it.
I didn't think you did, Johnny. It's fine. You, Kevin, is this why Jimmy didn't show up today?
You're talking to one of the kids that
one of the skulls. Would I know them? I mean, we're working the same place. Imagine you probably met just beforehand.
Right. You would have gotten them drinks. Both of them would have taken a soda of some kind, something that was produced by Pandora's Delights. Otherwise you read them as being, just kind of normal individuals. Nothing, you didn't pick up any of that. So, no, this isn't why Jimmy was here. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, all right, listen, I don't know what this is all about, and personally, I don't really want to get involved in it, but you're gonna have to. I don't want this to affect my reputation, understand?
We don't work for you, damn it. We work for Peter. He's the boss.
Boss of the skulls? Boss here.
Who said anything about the skulls?
Your fucking arm patch.
Oh.
Yeah, if you're trying to be secret about it, it's not a great way.
And you see the other guy just kind of told you.
Amateur.
Can we just hear this crunching sound behind?
And that's Johnny discovering that there's a bag of chips off to the side. And he just kind of grabs it and goes.
Yep.
You're gonna get fat doing this show.
Like 2 weeks from now, I'm like, I have to keep eating.
Chips that have Olestra, and it'll go right through you.
Let's just not have that conversation.
Okay. Let's not.
I agree.
Oh, look, Activia. Yeah.
Mix the Metamucil in with it.
Oh, God. Oh, dear. Okay.
Okay, and so we're going to cut from that Geo vibing back there and giving them shit to Morrigan kind of walking into the room where Derek is currently working with two other detectives as they're interviewing a couple of people, and he kind of looks up as you walk in the room, and it's like when you walk in the room for him, he feels it even when he doesn't look at you, and he kind of looks up. And he motions to the detective and one of the detectives, and he steps over to you. What's up?
Well, we have a little bit of an issue. I think we know who took Phoebe.
What? How?
The skulls were hired. We found a patch behind the maze, the hedge maze, and there are 3 individuals who just put a minor at gunpoint in the pantry. The situation is diffused, but it's probably a great idea to go arrest them now.
Is this a game of Clue? What the hell is going on?
In the pantry with a candlestick.
He waves, "Hey, Williams, come here." And Williams, this young officer, early 20s, kind of walks over, grab Smith there, and points to a woman in officer's uniform. Grab Smith and go back into the kitchen. Apparently there's a situation back there. Figure out what's going on and keep the situation under control until I get back there. Patch? What do you mean a patch? Where did you find the patch?
Here you go. It was off right behind the hedge.
And he reaches into... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay.
No, so he reaches in as you're saying that, and he pulls out an evidence bag and he kind of plops it into there because he's wearing gloves. He's wearing blue gloves, and he pulls them out, pulls out a pair of gloves, and he's like, "Do you need these?"
Sure.
And he hands them to you. So back to there, and it was on the fence. You mean that, like, over the fence?
Yes.
And he kind of looks around for a second. Was there anything else back there?
Not that we could tell, but it just drops off,
Okay, I'll send a couple of folks back there to take a look. How did you end up back there in the kitchen with these?
We were just coming back inside, and then I heard yelling, and then Johnny, the young kid that's working in the kitchen, and it just happened so fast.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just worried about the kid and why the skulls are involved in all this.
We've heard some rumors.
If they have the 3 sisters, they're going to hold them for ransom.
Well, so that's the weird thing. Here, and he kind of does that whole "let's go around the corner" kind of a thing, and he takes you around the corner to a little alcove where there is a little statue of some Greek sort of facade. And he kind of listens. He's like, "So we heard rumors about the skulls taking so they're hiring themselves out for taking jobs, but weird thing is, in Alexis's case, we found evidence that the alley cats were involved.
Multiple gangs?
I don't know. It seems weird. And then, and this is the really weird part. There's some gang out of Cross End who might also be involved. The Beasts, I think they're called. I don't know. This is just rumor at this point. But we've got an informant who had saying that these 3 were looking for work and they were hiring themselves out, and somebody apparently took them up on it.
3 sisters, 3 gangs. They don't know about one or the other. It makes sense.
Yeah, that was my thought too. The thing is that they're low-level gangs. They're little street thugs, basically. Why would you trust? I mean, that seems like there's something off about that. Right? Why would you trust low-level gangs to take high-value targets if that's what we're calling this? Is and
unless they're not the targets.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
What could be more valuable between all 3 of them? do they need? I don't know. I don't understand.
At this point, I don't either. I mean, the value behind Phoebe, not only because she's the CEO of, Pandora's Delights. The reason this event's happening tonight, the Walker Foundation. So maybe there's some connection there. We're just starting the interviews now.
Did you talk to Harold yet?
Harold Bjorn?
Yes.
What makes you think Harold Bjorn's involved?
He doesn't want Phoebe as chair.
Oh, I didn't know that. And he pulls out his notebook and he starts to write. And you see him kind of taking a bunch of notes, and he draws a little diagram connecting some of the names together, to kind of indicate mind map it in his head for him on paper. It's like it's really kind of great working with you again. And he continues on with the notes. Listen, why don't you head back there? I'll be right there. I need to let them know that I'm going to go figure out what's going on behind in the kitchen.
Okay.
And he kind of steps back. And so we'll follow you along back towards the kitchen where the four of you are kind of standing there, walk up on the three of them, kind of dealing with it. And the officers are starting to, cuff the individuals who are awake, right? And they're kind of rolling over the one individual who's unconscious at this point.
Well, this was quite the party.
Not quite what Whitney had in mind, I think.
Not so much.
When do I get paid? No, okay.
Listen, I'm not in charge here. I don't know. Don't know what to tell you, kid.
As these three kids are moving out, is there anything to their scent that is similar to what I found?
So you do not smell them directly as that scent of like jackal or a hyena. But as they pass, you do get a faint whiff as that they have been in the vicinity of somebody who smells like that.
Sorry, Godspeed.
Would it be possible before the officers come in to like search their stuff?
You could. What are you trying to do here? Are you trying to investigate? Are you trying to change the game? What are you doing here?
Investigate, probably.
Okay. Go ahead and do that. Okay.
I do kind of want to know what's in their stuff, but I'm more concerned with just I wanted to get a chance to talk to him a little bit. Mostly I would just ask, I don't really care much about what's going on with all this big stuff. I just want to know what happened to Jimmy.
Who's Jimmy? One of the guys says, and then Kevin, the other guy's like, slaps him. Is like, Jimmy, the guy that he replaces the bartender. We worked on him with that gig over in Tinseltown. Oh yeah. And I don't know what's going on with Jimmy. What is that? My nose. What does that matter?
You worked together before? With Jimmy?
Yeah, the Tinseltown gig. Some private party at one of the studios.
Wait, so you work events even when you're not gangbanging?
Gangbanging? That's so funny. You describe it like that. Man, we work for Peter. We work for Peter all the time. Right? He pays good, and it's good work. Plus, it gets us into places when we need to do. And his friend just kind of slaps him.
Hey, come on! He wasn't even saying anything. Come on.
Oh, he's right. I ain't talking to you. Who the hell are you, anyways? You're not. Jimmy wouldn't rat anybody out.
Yeah, I'm just a friend of Jimmy's. I'm not trying to get you in trouble or anything. I just genuinely am concerned. I mean, if you guys have been working jobs together, maybe whoever you're working for would know. Can I talk to them?
And he's about to answer you, and you see his friend kind of slap him again, and he hits him in the nose. He's like, "Oh, God! Oh!" And the other guy's like, "Listen, dude, we're not talking to you at all. This just ain't happening." Are you going to try to convince them?
Yeah, I would like to roll a convince.
Okay. So, what power tags do you think apply to this situation?
So I have gaining trust,
Okay.
good listener. Would bartender come into play here?
Sell it to me.
I know Jimmy. There's bartenders have this special kind of relationship, you know. We all just kind of know each other. We'll send drinks each other's way, whatever.
I would say that would work with Jimmy.
Right.
Well,
it's not a rapport. You don't have a direct rapport with them. They're not bartenders.
You're also going to get entourage because of entourage. So
fair.
Right.
Do I get one for reveal hidden methods?
Reveal hidden methods.
Disillusioned.
There isn't anything that's being hidden here in respect to like a process or a step. It's not like misdirection. This is a social situation, and they are definitely holding back, but it's not like there's nothing.
Right.
There's nothing like a process or anything. They're not like sleight of hand or look over here while I'm doing this over here kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right, which is what hidden method seems to imply to me.
Okay. One last try. Fake smile.
No.
Okay, that's fair.
Because they're already suspicious of you.
Okay, that's fine.
Right,
So...
but you are going to get the power attack from Entourage. Okay. And that's Cal's.
Okay.
Nice.
Great success.
Okay. So, with a great success, let's see. Let me double check the moves sheet real quick. When your abilities talk, threaten, or seduce someone, hello, Cal, on a hit, choose a relevant status of tier equals power. So that's 3. That's a tier 3 status of some kind in this social situation, and that applies. So on a 10 plus, you change their agenda to include yours, or at least for the time being.
Okay.
Right. So ask them again. Do something and tell me what you think. What is Geo's charm or whatever that really applies in this situation that extends a status to you or to them to be more amiable to you in this conversation?
Listen, I'm really not trying to get you caught by the cops, and in fact, the fact that Geo's missing is what's making me nervous because I feel like there's a chance he might, and well, sooner we can find him, the sooner, don't have to worry about that anymore.
The friend with the broken nose kind of looks over. He's like, Jimmy's a good guy. We need to find him. And the other one kind of looks back and looks at Geo, and he looks at Cal, and then he looks at Johnny, and he sees Morrigan kind of walking up, and he's like, all right, what do you want to know?
All right, what kind of... Why'd you get brought on this job? What was it for?
We work for Peter. This is our normal job. We do good stuff. Occasionally it has side benefits.
Right, but why were you on this job besides Peter?
Peter, I don't understand your question. We work for Peter. This is our normal job. Johnny is, new here. You're new here. That we do this. This is our day job, typically.
Right. And what were you engaging in any sort of extracurriculars tonight?
We were helping out. That's what skulls do. A couple of the skulls had a job to help out with. Yeah, it's.
Cal kind of leans over towards Geo and is like, "And why were they all leaving all of a sudden?"
Is that the question that you're asking?
Were you whispering that so they couldn't hear, or?
Trying to.
Well, I mean, I get the feeling you guys have some idea of what's been going on here. Seeing as you were pretty antsy when the cops showed up. I mean, I would be too, but you seem to have an idea that something else was going on. And
you're just trying to not get caught. I can't be any plainer than that, you know.
Right. Listen, I just
we've got records. I mean, you do stupid things when you're part of the Skulls, but trying to go legit
who's
here.
the job from? Not the job you were working tonight. But
Hey man, hey. Skulls do not rat on each other. But I'm going to be completely honest with you for a second. I don't know. I just know that a couple of guys were supposed to be here. They were gonna, they were supposed to interact with somebody, and that's all I know. And next thing I know, the cops are here, and I need to get out of here.
Do you know the names of those folks?
No, I'm not. I told you, I'm not ratting on.
You're not ratting on anyone. I'm trying to help you.
You're not helping me. The cops are right there. The two officers are right there. They're. Kind of, he's in cuffs at this point, right? And so I'm not telling you anything else. Like, look, I've done the, and he kind of, disengages from you.
Damn.
Well, I mean,
by the way, his name was Brett.
Brett.
You said
the dude he's talking to?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Brett and Kevin, I believe, was the.
Brett and Kevin. My notes are so disorganized. This is not going to make sense next week.
Give yourself some time. You'll figure it out.
I mean, you asked.
Roll for memory. No. I have a question. Is Morrigan with them right now, or are we still walking back?
No, you walked up as he was finishing the interaction with Brett.
Okay.
And so Brett and Kevin actually have a tier 3 status to make them more amiable to conversation that came off of his role, and I'm calling that level or status 3 convinced. So convinced to talk.
But he asked Kevin what's the name of the dude, or if he knows him, who put you on this job, and he says, I'm not ratting on anybody, that's a yes. I really need to learn how to answer questions better.
Would you gentlemen mind if I had a few minutes with these individuals?
Is the chef still in here?
The chef is eyeing some of the food and kind of hiding it away from Johnny. She is just kind of watching as he to consume left and right. Bag of chips here. There was cheese and some crackers over there. There was some
almonds.
Bacon, some
I
almonds.
was just about to say Morgan's going to grab some of those almonds from him.
So Calvin's going to turn and walk over to the chef and be like, excuse me, miss, before you put all of that away.
What?
Could you make me something small?
Sure. What can I do for you?
Hummus.
I got, and she begins to wander off. Johnny is clearly kind of watching her as, seeing where the food stores are. Gio, do you also disengage and let Morrigan do her thing? Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah, I'll disengage. I thought you were talking to someone else for a second. I was like, oh yeah, I'm Gio. That's role play.
Hey, Sky, do you disengage? Does that work better for you?
Yeah. I'll step back.
I mean, Hocus is going for some hummus here, so it just
Hocus.
Anyways, so they all step out, and the officers kind of recognize you and go, "You're the one with Derek, or sorry, Detective Roth, right?"
Yes.
Okay. We were given clearance to. All right, we'll be right outside, man. Anything that you need, and they
Thank you.
let them step outside.
Okay. Go ahead.
If they give you any shit, just point at that tomato can.
You got it. Morrigan pulls up like a crate or anything that's like a box so she can sit down kind of where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, we have a little bit of a problem right now.
Yeah, my friend's nose is broken, Brett says. And Kevin's like, oh, yeah, man.
Well, the other problem is there's somebody missing who happens to be a friend of mine, and that doesn't work for me.
Listen, lady. I told the bartender, what's his name, Gio, and this is Brett talking. I told him everything I know. I don't know who's on this job. I know who's here, but I don't know who gave him the job, and I'm not ratting out anybody. He just kind of, he's trying to disengage from you.
Okay. So, Brett, you don't know anything. Kevin, what about you? Are you smart? I think you're a smart individual.
I was until somebody knocked me in the nose.
Well, let me tell you this. I know the detective out there. I would not advise wanting to lie to that person. So if you just tell me now, I can spare you a lot of pain later on down the road.
Pain? What do you mean pain?
Well, if you think a broken nose is painful, guess again.
And he does this, and you see that the nose is starting to really get, out of control, swelling. And he looks at you, and you can see that the bruises under his eyes are starting to develop. And he realizes that you're serious. All right.
So I need a name.
Lady, I can't.
Who was here? Who took Phoebe? She's gonna deeply engage eye contact with him.
Okay.
I'm going to scare the living shit out of him.
So
go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was okay. Go ahead and
Is that
describe
a
what it
power
is.
tag?
Yeah, this is my power tag. I'm using sense guilt and show their death.
Jesus.
Oh.
Wait a minute. What's going on here? Are you sure you're just trying to are you convincing him, or you're going to scare?
I'm scaring him into telling me the truth.
Well, okay. So is that a convince, or is that a change the game? Are you modifying the actual situation that's going on, or are you just focusing directly on? I know, difficult questions.
I would say this is change the game because
change. I'm going deep into this person's soul and pulling the greatest fear that he has and applying it to his death so he can see it. So
okay.
It's a pretty intense thing. So basically, yeah, the two power tags that I would use. I could also technically use a third one, which is knowing their desire. So what they desire to how they want to emerge from the situation or what their plan is, but that's up to you.
Okay, so it sounds like 3 power tags plus entourage, which means 4.
Right.
Even though Cal's just sort of off to the side, that's still going to apply here.
Okay.
So if you get 4, roll it.
Okay. So it's just complete eye lock, and he can't detract his gaze because it's so intense.
Right.
And,
so he's just he's like this, and he's just and his hands just slowly drop as you kind of maintain that eye contact.
Okay. God, I hope this doesn't roll like shit.
Oh fuck.
Nice.
That makes up for those shitty rolls from before.
I know,
it really does.
Oh man.
Okay, so you give yourself or your allies an advantage. You get 4 juice in this particular case, which means that you can do 4 effects. And on a plus 10, you can also do some additional things. So the things that you can typically do on a success would be create a story tag, burn a power tag or a story tag, give or reduce a status. On a 10 plus, you get a minimum of 2 juice, and you also use your juice to do scale up an effect, prolong an effect, hide an effect, or any other improvement that you and the MC agree on. And I think that I'm going to give you the floor with what you want to do here, and just kind of go to town.
Okay. What I'm going to tell you kind of my goal here. maybe you can help me kind of move along to this. So my goal is, because he sees his death, he is so terrified. He believes I'm the only person that can save him. And so I want him to convert to being a contact for us.
Oh, okay.
So basically, he's so afraid, and then I see that he has this outpouring of guilt, and he trusts me enough that I can soothe his fear, since
Okay.
I'm a therapist, so I know how to address the issue.
Right.
And then basically convert them to work for us secretly.
Okay. So first things first, I'm going to ask you for.
Okay.
What did you show him in respect to showing him his death?
Oh, his death? Okay. I personally, like myself, believe that he probably wants to like move up the ranks
Mm-hmm.
in this organization, which is why they're trying not to roll. So I showed him the people that he holds in the highest esteem actually torturing him and dismembering his body.
That sounds like a
Fuck!
That sounds like a bad idea. That sounds like he's more scared of them than you.
No, but go ahead.
I was just going to say, hey, Meta, do you want to play Blaze in the Dark sometime?
Do you guys remember that I run a Call of Cthulhu game?
Now it could work really, really well, because she already mentioned that there are some things worse than just a broken nose.
Oh, yeah.
So he then, from his perspective, this is the first thing that comes to his mind. His fear that, oh my God, this is what's going to happen. And from his perception, all she has to do is start spreading rumors that he rolled. And no matter how much he denies it, this is still going to come to happen. So by doing whatever he can to appease her, maybe it'll keep her quiet and she won't say anything. But that's going to get him into this continuous loop of he constantly has to help her.
Right.
Otherwise, and that leads him right into being somebody that works for us.
Right. Well, so the way that this is going to roll out mechanically is the reason I asked you for that description is because I wanted some sort of basis of why that would just totally convince him to do that. Right.
Gotcha.
And so how this is going to work is he's going to get a status tag, or we can call it a story tag. But if you want to keep him as an asset of some kind, or some sort of contact, I'm going to jot down more information about Kevin as a member of the Skull Gang.
Okay.
He's going to get an ongoing status, which is essentially a long-term status of some kind, right? Of tier 4.
Okay.
And that is something that's going to that I'll let you describe in respect to how he sees you. With Geo, it was a tier 3, and it's eventually going to go away, but it was condensed, right? What status tag really kind of applies here to to the fact that he is just, because you're using your abilities, right? And you're giving him this and you're holding his attention at the same time. What is it that you convey to him in a status perspective that makes him just essentially your confidant in a lot of ways? Like, he's going to confide in you. He's going to be your informant.
One word.
What's that?
Patient.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Okay, so he's going to take...
Oh, this is perfect. This is the perfect cover. He's going to get therapy. Hello.
Right. And so that's something else that we're going to apply to this story element as well. So he's going to be we're going to call him Patient 4. So that's his status tag.
Okay.
And it's an ongoing status tag.
Patient 0.
Okay, he was before.
I'm going to convert the entire Skull Gang. It's going to be great.
So that's you're giving him that status tag, right? So that's one juice. The second juice is going to be prolonging the effect, making it ongoing.
Right.
The third one is a story tag that you're going to be able to convince Derek that this kid needs your help, that he's lost and he needs your help. So he's also going to get a story tag of 1, client, doctor client privilege or whatever.
Right.
We'll call it like that. Right. And so that's going to be a status of 1. And the more you pay attention to him, the more you can develop that. Right.
Okay. That
and that means you have 1 more juice kind of lying out there, like 1 more of these elements that you want to do. Do you want to hide the effect? Do you want to do some other improvement that goes along with this?
I think I need to calm him back down after this so that he
Okay.
doesn't lose his shit in front of everybody.
Okay, so we're going to call that a hide the effect.
Okay.
And how do you do that? Like, what do you give him that does that?
Oh, so I'm actually going to use like my capability of dealing with PTSD
Okay.
as a therapist. And I'm going to walk him through essentially a meditative exercise where he closes his eyes, deep breath. My voice becomes much more soothing and quiet. And it's almost as if everything else is kind of blanked out and all he can hear is my voice.
Okay.
And it's very much that kind of water, kind of calms down and the ripples stop. And he kind of takes it in, and it's almost like, even though he hasn't talked to me about his other problems yet, it feels like a weight's been lifted off of his shoulders.
Okay. And so as you're doing this, and you've got him with his, with your eyes, and the eye lock.
Mm-hmm.
This goes on for a couple of seconds, and when you eventually break it, he's just kind of like, his hands are in his lap. He's forgotten that his nose is broken for a second, and he's kind of slack-jawed for just a second. And Brett kind of looks over and says, "Hey, Kevin, are you okay? What'd she do to you, man?" And he kind of shakes himself. No, I'm fine. And he kind of gives you a nod, like knowingly that there's something there. He just can't. Mm-hmm. It's almost like he can't explain it, but
right. Okay. So I'm going to motion to one of the officers if it's okay to take Brett out of the room.
Okay. And the officer's like, yeah, there's another preparing area right over there. Why don't you take him over there?
Okay.
And so you take Brett out of there,
mm-hmm.
and what do you just kind of escort him over there?
Yeah. Well, did Kevin give me the name?
No, he did not yet.
Okay.
So you want to ask him that question in front of Brett, or do you want to ask?
No, that's why I wanted Brett to leave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so
nobody likes you, Brett.
Fucking Brett.
Calvin likes you, Brett.
Let me have another almond there, Johnny.
And so you get Kevin alone for a moment. Mm-hmm. And I'm not supposed to tell you this. Don't let this get back to me. I don't want to.
You are now in my care. Everything between us is confidential.
And he kind of just, he relaxes as you say that. And he leans in and he says, "It was Manny. Manny was leading whatever was going on tonight."
But do you know what the task was?
I didn't. Brett got me into the skulls. I do things with them, and we get into trouble occasionally. I don't pay attention. I don't want to get in that involved. If you think you can help me, I need to get out of that. My mom wants something better for me, right? And he looks over at Brett and he's like, "But Brett, I've known Brett for a long time from the neighborhood, So
yeah, you got in a bad place. I get it. Come see me in my office when we get this all taken care of."
Okay. Thank you. What's your name?
Morrigan.
Thank you, Morrigan. I appreciate it. Do you want me to go back over there now?
No, you're okay. Officer, uncuff him.
And the officer comes over and, he's cuffed in front because of his nose and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But so the officer's like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, just stay with him and monitor. I'll be back.
Okay. And it's Williams, the man, and he kind of uncuffs it. And Smith is over there, kind of just looking and, making sure that Brett and the other unconscious guy are just there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And and then Cal, Johnny, and Gio kind of see this exchange going on, but they can't really hear anything. So,
yeah.
But they're just kind of loitering there.
Okay.
Cal's hitting on the chef.
while he's eating.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Johnny,
For hummus.
Johnny is secretly taking chips and dipping in his hummus when Cal's distracted by hitting on the chef.
Which is happening quite a bit.
All your hummus is already gone.
So Johnny is using chips. What is Cal using to dip into the hummus? As I mean, what is seductive? Are you using pita chips or are you using your finger?
Say it's a proper pita chip.
Oh, okay. Because I like Gio's like motion of like the finger and kind of.
Well, no, every time Johnny takes a thing, it moves the bowl of things a little bit. So some of it keeps getting onto Calvin's fingers. And so at one point, he is sitting there and it's on his thumb. And as he's looking and he's talking to her, he's holding his thumb a good 6 inches or so away from his face while he's talking to her, and he just stretches his tongue out, wraps it around the thing, and pulls it back in. And so his tongue is very long, but he doesn't usually stick it out that far.
You just see Johnny. He's like,
kind of glances over and he's like, "Not for you yet."
Yet.
and Johnny disappears.
And so, Cal, as you're doing that, you're extending your tongue out, and she kind of every time that your tongue comes out, she kind of blushes and looks away, right? Not quite acknowledging what's going on, but being embarrassed. But she knows something. There's some, and she's just kind of melting into you in respect to like her demeanor is just
We can't take you anywhere.
No, that's why you didn't bring me here. I showed up on somebody else's time.
It's true.
All right, so Cal's doing that, Johnny is doing his thing, and Gio is just kind of watching this kind of go down and feeling deja vu. As Detective Roth kind of comes in, and Derek first goes over to Morrigan and says, "So what's going on here? What do you got?"
Are you talking to me?
Yep, to the
Sorry,
Morrigan.
can you repeat
You
that?
talking
I
to
was
me?
reading
You
chat.
talking to me?
You feel lucky, Hook? Well, sorry, go ahead.
He comes up. Detective Roth comes in. Kind of assesses the situation. Sees one of the skulls, Kevin, kind of over off to the side with an officer, and then the other two over there. And you're just kind of between all of this, and you look over to, or he kind of looks over at you, and Derek just kind of walks in and says, "So what's the status here? What happened? What's going on?"
Well, short version is they don't know anything. That's definitely the short version. The longer version is that the skulls were definitely hired to do something here, but they're too low level to know what it was.
That sounds about right. We've been trying to tie them to a couple other things that are going on in the city right now. And
have you guys had any luck looking for Phoebe?
No. We've got an APB out on her, the sisters, all three of the sisters. Nobody's had any luck. I mean, the video footage from Xanadu, we talked to the owner and operator there, Mr. Gallus. He provided us with some video footage from tonight when Megan disappeared. And she appears to vanish. Is
there security at this house?
Yeah, we're currently reviewing it right now, but we're not seeing anything.
Sorry,
I mean, we're seeing these individuals and a couple other individuals kind of moving through the crowd, but we lose track of them once they go outside because the hedges. There's no cameras in the hedges.
Okay. Well, that individual over there by the name of Brett, I would recommend booking him. However, Kevin, he just got involved tonight. He doesn't really know too much. I don't really feel comfortable doing guilt by association. So I'm going to bring him into my office and give him a little bit of therapy to make sure that he's okay and stays out of whatever the skulls are doing, and hopefully set him straight for that.
That's and he's taking down notes, and he's kind of that's really great of you. I hope you can get him help. So his name's Kevin. Okay. Brett, do we know what the name of the third, the unconscious individual there is? Do we know?
Oh, that's a good question. Do we?
No.
Nope.
I was like, I don't even know.
Because Johnny just went boom.
Yeah. I mean, he's alive, but
That's a good question. Speedy, say that again.
Would I know? I knew Kevin.
Yeah, we'll call him Bobby.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rob actually. So.
It's Bobby.
Okay. Well.
Damn it, Bobby.
Bobby.
Oh, Bobby.
Yeah.
Damn it, Bobby.
Ricky Bobby.
Gotta go fast.
Brett, Bobby, and Kevin.
I
BBK.
find myself worrying that any of these guys might recognize Calvin since his house is in the blue collar district.
Yeah, it's a big district.
It is a big district, and but the skulls are all over the place. But no, they don't recognize you because they're all low level, right? They don't. And so, Derek's kind of noting things. Do I need to talk to any of these guys over here? I mean, they look like
I would push a little of the interrogation on Brett just to,
Okay. All right. And I'm gonna, all right. And he begins to move off. Quick question. I don't remember whether you did or not.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hand Derek the cell phone?
Yes.
Oh, you did hand him the cell phone. And so as he walks off, he's starting to walk off, the phone rings. And he's like, hello? No, this is not she. Uh-huh. Oh, she had an appointment at Xanadu? Really? Okay. I'll send some officers over there. Who is this? Mary. Okay. Well, there'll be somebody over to talk to you soon, Mary. Make sure I'll have some of my officers return call. Hey, Smith, go ahead and can you and closes the phone and sends Smith off.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear this entire exchange.
Yep. So that means I'm thinking to myself that somebody from Xanadu contacted Phoebe's phone because Phoebe didn't show up for her appointment.
No, that was Mary on the phone. You clearly heard that it was Mary because you had called earlier asking about the schedule. I'm sorry.
I mean that somebody contacted Megan when they couldn't get a hold of Phoebe or they didn't see Phoebe. Like, what is the deduction here if there's an appointment including the word Xanadu?
Phoebe had an appointment at Xanadu tonight.
Yeah. Right. She had an appointment to meet Megan at Xanadu afterwards.
Right. So then why would Mary be calling?
Because you called Mary earlier. You returned her call and you asked her about what your schedule is to remind you. And so Mary was calling back and saying, Hey, Phoebe, this is.
Oh, was it like a reminder phone call?
Yes, it was a reminder phone call.
Okay, gotcha.
Because you told her to call you back.
I told her to call me if she heard anything, but I guess she's doing her secretarial duty, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And probably right about now, she's realizing, wait, a police officer answered her phone. What the hell is going on with you?
Yep.
She's not the smartest secretary. She's just her brain is powered by chewing gum.
Mary's trying really hard, guys. Mary's trying really hard.
She's trying her hardest.
So is Calvin.
With the chef.
Okay, so we find the four of you kind of in this room. Johnny kind of eating, Cal, doing his sort of seductive thing. Gio just kind of having deja vu, and Morrigan just kind of assessing the situation. Where do you guys want to go from here?
Well, this is very interesting. Johnny, don't you have like a curfew or something?
What time is it?
I have no idea.
It's probably like 10 o'clock, but you were scheduled to work until midnight.
Okay.
Because you were working for your family friend or your parents' friend, Peter Wolf.
I was like, I could stay out pretty late. I mean, curfews for people under 16.
Right. Okay. Well, hey Cal, I know you are very interested in what's happening over there, but could you detach for a moment, please?
Looks at the chef. It's like, should I detach?
And she smiles. Only if you go away for a second.
Time me. And he turns.
One. All right.
He just turns around in a circle.
You see Johnny. He's just like,
God, this guy is so cool.
Don't listen to him. Don't do that. Don't be like him. Oh God.
I'll be back. And so he joins the rest of the group.
Well, so I don't know how we all have anything to do with things here. I know Geo has some kind of context here with the skulls, and Cal, I don't know exactly how you play into the equation, but you did find the patch, so that's helpful. And Johnny's just a kid, but what in the world happened in that pantry?
I pushed the man.
You knocked him out.
I pushed him really good.
The adrenaline.
You punch people often, Johnny?
No. But I don't know. He started pointing a gun over at Cal, and I got upset.
That's true.
Have you noticed the fact that you're a bit stronger than you look? I mean,
Well, I mean, I've known that, yeah. I just try not to interact with people because they get knocked over all the time, and I just rather, whatever. Are you guys hungry?
No. Gio,
yeah, Cal.
you remember our little soiree in the park? And how the lady in question, she had a particular scent to her.
I mean,
We got
that was
something
your thing,
very-
not mine, but yeah.
We got something very similar going on here. Different, but very much the same.
Why are you smelling people?
Okay, hold on. Can you fill us in on exactly what's going on here? You guys obviously have a history.
Probably.
But
And he just says probably and turns right back to Gio.
Oh, wow.
So, remember I said when I got here and I saw you that I'm not sure whether we keep coming together because shit's going weird or shit keeps going weird because we're coming together.
Yeah.
It's coming back around.
Yeah.
And he turns to Morgan and goes, yes, we do. Once. We
What
met
was, what was your name again?
Morgan
Putting
or
Morgan.
Calvin or
Yeah, Morgan.
you need a drink, Gio?
He probably can't
It's
figure
looking
out.
like it, but you're not a cop, right?
No.
And
You're
that
in
little
good with
trick
them.
you did.
The trick I did. All I did was talk to somebody.
Some would call it that.
I'm a doctor. It's my job.
I've seen a doctor with wings so pretty. But see, here's the thing.
What?
Cal and I... This ain't the first investigation that we ended up being a part of. By pure coincidence...
Oh no, there's no such thing as coincidence.
Well, see, the last time we were hanging out in a cafe, never met the guy before, a place called Fog's Brew. You might have heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was the very same day, about 2 weeks ago, where a certain Mr. Walker...
It's closer to 3 months.
It was 3 months?
No, it was 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
It was 3 weeks. So, just FYI.
Somewhere in there.
3 months, 3 weeks.
3 weeks ago, around 9 a.m., Met a different detective then. What was her name? You knew it, Cal.
Yeah, Desiree.
Yeah.
Devereaux.
Yeah, Derriere, whatever the.
Is Cal a little bitter?
Oh, he eats lots of pineapple. He's fine.
Thank you, you fucking jerk.
Anyways, we got caught up in that investigation too, and there was weird stuff going on there too.
Weird stuff.
Yeah. Weird
You
stuff.
don't like to detail or elaborate very much, do you?
None of you do. I have no idea what any of you are talking about.
Weird stuff like how you are skinny as a rail and can push someone across the goddamn room. Weird stuff like you talking to a guy who wouldn't say shit about anything, seeing the fear of God in his eyes, and then spilling his guts. And weird stuff like his tongue.
He crushed a can of tomatoes.
That too.
Oh, and his tongue.
It's just.
Okay. Weird stuff. Great. We'll just leave it at that. So what exactly does that mean for us? Obviously, we, for some reason, are here together at the same time, and it's not coincidence.
There's something else going on here, and if that quick girl we were talking to has had any truth to her, then we're going to be involved more whether we like it or not.
I agree with that. So Phoebe's gone, and so are the rest of her sisters. All of them were taken by different gangs.
What? How?
They were hired. Different gangs were hired to do each of the jobs.
The only remaining piece of evidence we have is Xanadu. The fact that Phoebe was supposed to be there.
Yes.
Wait. And you see Johnny like unbutton his shirt. And I was like, we get to be like Batman?
Let's let your testicles drop a few inches more before we start reaching that.
I assure you, my balls have dropped, okay? I'm 17. I'm a man now, okay?
Oh, dear.
Anyways, you're right, Xanadu.
So then we go there.
Seems like
Think
a
I
hot
can get it,
spot.
Do I know what Xanadu is?
You would know of it. Everybody knows that Xanadu is kind of like the big hotspot in downtown, but probably only by reputation. Even your parents wouldn't, really kind of frequent that place. It's incredibly posh. So Morrigan would definitely know. Both you and Cal would know for different reasons. Johnny would barely have an inkling,
Do I know it's a bar?
It's a nightclub. It's a jazz nightclub.
Oh,
It's a beautiful Art Deco building in the middle of downtown. So,
yeah, I can't really go in there.
I can get you in.
Okay, let's go. This is the craziest night of my life.
It does have a restaurant.
Let's go.
Shit.
That's on you, Cal.
Yeah, it is.
I'll cover it.
And Calvin kind of looks down and realizes that he's left hoof print tomato juice marks all over the kitchen where he's been walking.
Okay.
I go grab my backpack and then go get some like snack foods and stuff them in my backpack and then zip it up and go, all right.
You know who he reminds me of?
Hmm.
To Gio. It reminds me of that kid,
Yeah.
Malcolm.
Yeah.
Constant.
This kid could definitely use some olives.
Okay, and so the four of you are going to leave. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so we're going to cut to the four of you getting out of a cab or taking somebody's car to.
I would have driven my car.
I was
Okay.
going to say, I don't think the rest of us have a car. So
Right, but so what kind of car does Morrigan drive? I mean, she is a doctor. She's a pretty successful doctor.
Am I allowed to eat in the car?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
But you do get to sit in the front seat with me.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of a car?
So I'm going to go with the really cliche doctor thing here and go for like a Mercedes at this point. Top of the line, lots of room, nice ride, leather seats.
Great sound
Touch
system.
screen.
Yes, a touch screen that Johnny
Oh.
played with. Yes.
lots of greasy fingerprints all over.
All right, so we're going to cut to you, pulling up to the entrance of Xanadu. Vibrant, bright, beautiful Art Deco architecture, lined in neon. There's a line down the block to get in. You can see that the valet kind of comes out and hands you a ticket as they take your keys and they escort you out of the car, and you kind of begin to walk up, and Cal, you see the bouncer there, tall, black, dressed in sort of this sort of a smart, sort of a dark outfit, mirror shaped glasses, round mirror shaped glasses, thin gold chain sort of around the neck, ending in a pendant or emblem of some kind. And at first it sort of looks like a cross, but as you get closer, it's really a sword of some kind. And he kind of walks in, or he kind of walks up to you, and he says, "Hey, Cal, how you doing?
So Monte, good to see you, man. It's been
How's
a
it
long
going? Yeah, it's been a while. We haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. What's been going on?"
I got my regular bar I go to, so this is for special occasions.
Well, we do always appreciate your business. I'm sure the boss is inside. Will love to talk to you.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I'd love to see him. Listen, I got these three folks with me. Should we just go ahead and get in line?
No, just come on. He just kind of waves you inside, and he points to the guy. Just let him inside. Hey, you know what? Catch me on the way out. We'll grab a smoke or something.
Absolutely. And I'll turn to Johnny and point at his shirt and say, "Button that up right now."
I hate getting dressed up.
And so the four of you walk inside, and it is loud but not overwhelming. It is not a cacophony of sound in a negative way, but in a positive way. There's laughing, there's conversation, there's people drinking. There's a band, towards the far side of the room on a rise stage, and it's sort of like a big band kind of a thing, and they're playing some sweet jazz, some big band jazz. And there's a couple people on the dance floor, and you kind of take in the room, and just it's overwhelming. And off from the corner, "Hey, is that Cal?" And Cal, you turn and you see this tall gentleman, white, outfit, off-white outfit, almost verging on silver, well-groomed, beard and hair, has a patch over his left eye. And on his left lapel is the emblem of a spearhead. He's, "Cal, man, last time I saw, how long has it been?" And he kind of walks up, and he's offering his hand.
And takes it happily and is like, "Oscar, holy shit, it's been, wow. I mean, you weren't here the last time I came in."
Yeah, I have to travel around sometimes. I've got to book the bands. I've got to do some business. I like to wander a lot.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I do like to take my vacations.
Yeah, well, I running this place, I imagine you need them sometimes. Listen, Oscar, these are some friends of mine I wanted to introduce you to. This is Morrigan. That's Gio over there, and that's Johnny. Everybody, this is Oscar Gallows. He owns this place.
And he extends his hand. Any friend of a Cal, wait, son, are you a little young?
Yeah, he is.
I'm here for the food.
Yeah.
I got you covered.
Don't say.
And And he said he points over to a table. He says, "Why don't the four of you sit down over there? I'll be right over to talk to you. Hey, Lisa, make sure that they get everything that they need." And he says, "Cal, I'll be right over. Give me just a second." And he heads out the door.
Does he pat Cal on the back?
Not yet.
Okay, just checking.
And so, the four of you kind of make your way over to sort of the center of the room, off to sort of the right side of the stage. There's sort of a VIP area, and there's a little bit of commotion over there. There's actually a police officer kind of having a conversation with a couple of people playing, or a uniformed police officer. And you see Oscar make his way sort of along and talking to the VIP, and the people in the VIP lounge, and talking to the officer. And there's a brief exchange, and Oscar's incredibly genial, but he just is being very stern. And the officer eventually kind of leaves and makes his way out. And so Oscar, kind of turns back and walks over, and he pats Cal on the back and says, "What happened to you, friend?" "Cal, that sounds like a. You okay? Can I get you something?"
No.
Do you need a little bit of nectar?
No. Ooh.
What's nectar?
Lisa, from my private batch. It's from my close friends. What's your name, Johnny? Listen,
Yeah, Johnny.
Is it like honey?
Listen, Johnny. Whatever. Talk to Lisa. Get whatever you want. You get soda. Gio, Morrigan, please. Cal, let me talk to you. Let me pull you aside and talk to you for a second.
Okay. Just some scratches. They're still healing.
And
okay.
And Lisa kind of walks up with a glass, and it's a small glass of something, and he gives it to you. And knowing what it does, you take a quick drink of it, and immediately you feel 10 times better.
Ooh, thank you. Those were taking much longer than I wanted to heal. Oh,
yeah, I can imagine. I mean,
she was worth it though. Sorry, what?
You're gonna have to tell me that story some other time over a good drink. What are you doing here tonight? This is
the auspices are not quite as cheerful as one might expect.
Is this about Megan?
And Phoebe.
Phoebe
was supposed to meet Megan here this evening. She has disappeared.
Have you heard anything about Alexis?
I haven't. Morgan might have. She's much more in with the police than I am. Some of them.
He says, "Okay, all right. Where are you coming? I mean, how do you know Phoebe's missing? Where are you coming from?"
Actually, we just came from
Knox's gala party.
Trying to remember his first name.
Yeah, Whitney's.
Whitney, thank you. Yeah, from Whitney's place. He was having his big party.
Oh, yeah, you were up at the gala at the Walker Foundation. Yeah. I was supposed to go, but it's we've got some clients coming into town. Some prospective clients, and there might be some private parties here in the next couple of weeks. So I needed to be here to meet them tonight.
Yeah.
Did it go well? Was it until Phoebe?
Till that point, yeah.
Okay.
Things started getting dicey when the cops started walking through talking to everybody, and then it got worse when we realized that she was missing.
Was my son there? Was Harold there?
Yep.
Was he causing trouble?
I don't know if it was trouble. You need to get him a dictionary. Preferably one that doesn't have the word strapping in it. He uses it way too much. But
yeah, he never did take to college. I should have never left him in charge of the business.
Well, to answer your question more seriously, no, he didn't really seem to be starting any trouble that I saw.
All right. Well, let's go back to your table and talk to this Morrigan person. And he kind of steps up. Excuse me, Miss Morrigan.
Just Morgan.
Or doctor.
Oh, wow. That's lovely. A doctor of what?
MD, not PhD. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you, Cal. Quite
I-
handy.
I aim
Have
to
you
please.
here explaining what I do.
Right. That's right.
Okay. So Cal made it clear that you've got some more information. Apparently, you're coming here to ask about Morrigan and Phoebe, and you have some information about Alexis.
Well, all three of the sisters are missing. That's as much as information as I have, unfortunately.
And when you say that, his face turns white as his, like he's shocked, and it's almost as white as his suit.
Are you okay?
Yes, Johnny. Thank you for asking.
Do you
All
know
three
something about this?
Not about it, but what it could mean. And when he says mean, there's an incredible heavy weight. And for the first time, Gio, you see what you think is a normal person's facade kind of drop a little bit, and he kind of glimmers. And you focus on the spear. All three sisters the same night. That's... Oh, Harold, what did you do? Can you tell me anything else?
Well, depends. Who's Harold to you?
It's my son.
Well,
What do
did you
you
know your
have to...
son didn't want Phoebe in the chairman's position?
He also called me strapping like 7 times.
The
Well, and at that, Oscar looks over at Johnny and says, "Well, you're just not coming to your own yet, son. But I can see what Harold could see in you." And he looks back at Morrigan. It's public knowledge that Harold wants to lead, be the chairman of the board for the Walker Foundation. I don't think he has the time for it, but he seems to think that it's an important addition to his repertoire, his collection. So, I mean,
How motivated would you say your son is for that position?
he really wants it. I'll
Enough to
I'll
get
say
rid of
that.
the
But
people who do it?
Whitney is, and he looks over at Cal. You know the pressure Whitney's under. Whitney's the one who's been really campaigning for it. If you're implying that Harold did something,
I'm not implying, I'm inquiring.
he kind of shrugs. He says, "My son and I don't talk very often."
I can tell. If you need to talk to somebody about that, let me know. When I'm in office, of course.
I'm not sure you can quite handle the troubles my family has gone through. And there's
You'd
a
be
lot
surprised.
of weight behind that statement. All right. Well,
wait, Oscar. So Phoebe was up for the position. We know that
That's
Whitney
correct.
wanted it too. He's mentioned that.
yep.
So if Harold, how many people on the board wanted that position?
They were the three, as far as I understand it. I mean, I'm on the board as well. But I don't participate that much unless they need a vote. The day-to-day activities, Gerald was great about taking care of all of that. He did his job very well. I mean, it's...
What about the
Question.
third sister?
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. Were they up for the position too?
Alexis? Megan? No. They barely had anything to do with the foundation.
Yeah,
That was
they were
Phoebe's
executive.
pet project.
Yeah.
So why take all 3 then?
It's a good question.
Johnny, that is the $1 million question. Hey, Lisa, make sure this kid has whatever he wants. He looks hungry.
I will have the menu.
I think he's serious. Just keep it coming. Thanks, Lisa.
I love this place. I never want to leave.
Well, you're going to have to.
Okay.
But I mean, that is the $1 million question.
Take those specific individuals out of the equation. What other reason would somebody have? Obviously, Phoebe's the only one in the running for chairman.
Mhm.
So it might not be that. It might not even have anything to do with the chairman's position.
I mean,
Or-
are they special?
What?
Are they like special? Like what you guys, what you guys do?
Oscar
Oh, we
looks
got
at you.
He crushes tomato cans. He knows what people are drinking. She makes people scared and happy. And yeah,
That's like every woman. Come on now.
well,
That's true.
Yes.
So he leans into Cal, or Oscar leans into Cal, and he says, "You might want to keep an eye on this kid. He's not completely there yet, but he's
Little
pretty
young
sharp.
for me, Oscar.
Well, just to take him under your wing. You don't have to engage every person you meet. In that way.
Have you met me?
Yes, I also know the trouble that you've gotten into. You need to learn a little restraint, my friend." And he kind of leans back.
What if the people didn't know which sister it was? I know that sounds ridiculous, but humor me. So they had to take all three?
I
mean, are they triplets? Do they all look alike?
Johnny, no. Phoebe is definitely the oldest.
Oh, okay.
She's been around a little bit longer. Megan is definitely the youngest. She's the most impulsive. She's always here. She's always here socializing. She's usually over there every night, from the time we open until the time we close. She's like the second.
Right? She went missing here?
Right outside.
You have any idea what happened at all?
Look, I showed the footage to the officers that came by. In fact, I just asked the officer to kind of step outside if he's got to do something. I don't want him bugging my patrons, but I did share with the officers the video, and the video showed absolutely nothing. She was behind the corner. There was a little bit of a scuffle, something or other. She took care of herself. She was walking back around, and then she just sort of vanished off the screen.
Cal, do you want to
Take a stroll.
mind if we have a look?
Cal, listen, you do what you need to do. You've got the run of the place. Mamikasa sukasa. But I need to go. Get this kid some food. Miss Morrigan, Dr. Kane, and he says your name, Dr. Kane. You never told him that.
No, I didn't.
So
I don't say anything to him.
It's been a pleasure. You have the run of your Cal's friends. You have the run of the place. I've got some other business to tend to. Cal, if you find anything, let me know. You got my number.
Yeah.
And Lisa, keep it coming for this kid. And he just kind of wanders off.
It's like food been like showing up.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm like,
first it was the appetizers, right? And every time you finish a plate, there's another plate of an appetizer, and it's something different. And you're just making your way to the
tears down his
salad.
eyes. He's like, the food's so good, but everything looks like a terrible 80s movie.
At least there's nobody roller skating yet.
Oh God.
Be patient.
Those aren't hooves, they're roller skates.
Okay, so he just he steps off.
And he looks across the table at Johnny, whose plates are slowly stacking, or not so slowly stacking, because I'm sure the waiters are having trouble keeping up with getting rid of them. So I guess you've got two choices. One is to come outside with us. Two is to stay here and keep eating.
Cal, the answer is pretty obvious.
I didn't want to presume.
There's a third answer. And he opens up his backpack and starts stuffing the food in there. And he's like, okay. And he like takes out like, oh.
Kid's an innovator.
Yeah, but those were hot wings. That is going to get all kinds of messy on the inside.
I have to wash my backpack a lot.
Yeah, especially when you're sticking Oysters Rockefeller in there. That is, ugh. And
I'm hungry. I can't complain how I eat it.
not with your mouth full. And so Cal gets up and walks out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you kind of all walk through that front door, and Tamonte just says, "Hey, we're gonna go get that smoke."
Oh God, I wish. Can't just yet.
Okay.
Did you see where Megan went?
Oh, and he points.
Yeah.
Listen, she was around that corner. I was watching. I saw something's going on. I stepped up. I watched the little scuffle that happened in the back. Just making sure that nothing was going to affect the club. She took care of herself, and I was walking back to get a couple of do-gooders off the roof. I don't know how they got up there, and the next thing I know, she's gone. I take my eyes off of her for 1 second, she's gone. So I think it's around the corner.
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Cal, be careful. There's some bad characters getting involved here.
Yeah, I picked up on that earlier.
Okay.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Dial back on the cologne. He'll walk off.
Okay, and so as the four of you kind of walk around the corner, you get to the spot that Oscar had implied, and that Tamonte had implied that was that she disappeared. And the moment that you turn the corner, Cal, something like huge kind of smell just kind of overwhelms you. And it's overpowering, and you're smelling that jackal or hyena kind of smell. And it's just like, it hits you first. And the farther you walk, it becomes overwhelming. It's almost like the pheromone was like all over the sidewalk. And so it's definitely just
kind of stumbles back against Johnny and presumably just bounces right off.
He could put all his weight against him and he'd just be like, "Oh, are you okay?"
Yeah, the smell is really intense in here.
What are you getting, Cal?
What?
You ever been to Africa?
No.
No?
Okay.
You?
I did a review for a couple of airlines once. It was a while back. Anyway, if you've ever been near hyenas or jackals,
I mean, like a zoo, but pretty much everything that just smells like shit.
well, there's really not much of that.
Okay?
Well, there's one thing, but it's further down. Somebody who had nachos with a lot of jalapenos in them, but that's not so bad. It's the and so he'll turn to Morgan and Johnny said, "All right, all the cards on the table here. I have a really, really good sense of smell and subsequently taste. That's how I found the patch. That's how I knew which way they went out of the maze. That same scent that's on that patch is all over this alley. Whoever has her probably also took Megan.
It wasn't the same gang involved, though, was it?
I don't know. And it wasn't Sable either. I know
Wait.
her scent.
Wait, so one question. Did those other guys that I beat up in the storage room, did they smell like the same thing? Because they had the same patch.
No, this was different. They smelled like guys. They smelled like a bunch of dudes. This
My
is
dad
something
owns an arcade. I know that smell.
else. This is something more. This is monstrous.
I don't want to be too presumptuous there, but it seems like Mr. Gallows isn't a dummy. Any chance he would know? I mean, he probably couldn't pick up the scent, but
That he would know about this.
he would know about a jackal or a hyena.
I think
whatever it
he's
is.
hiding something.
All Johnny can think about right now is a hyena in like a biker suit. And he's just sitting there thinking about that right now.
Big thought bubble.
I just keep picturing the hogger suit that Zula made. I just keep picturing her standing there in the hogger suit with like a biker thing, a skull,
Yeah.
doing that stupid Scooby-Doo laugh. I mean, she doesn't do that. But anyway, love that suit. God, I love that suit.
No. I mean, does he have secrets? Yes, of course he does. Everybody does.
It's more than that.
Yeah, I know.
So how did he know who I was?
How does Gio know what kind of drink you want?
So we're all not going to say it. Just
What are
gonna
we- What?
let it fester.
Doesn't need to be said. We all know.
It's not healthy when you don't talk about it.
I have often found that some secrets, when they're brought out in the open, hurt a lot.
These aren't secrets. We all know who we are.
We could be like the Avengers.
Even Johnny knows, and he's 17 years old, and he's willing to say something about it.
Yeah.
Listen,
He's talking about movies and games.
we've all got some sort of powers. That much is obvious. All right? But none of us, we're not heroes. All right? We're still just people, and we're still just trying to figure out what the hell is going on here, so we can go back to whatever we were doing beforehand.
Behind all of you, you hear a brick hit the ground, and it all attracts your attention. It all kind of grabs you, and you all look around and look up. And on the second story, next across the alley from Xanadu, there is somebody looking down at you and kind of sniffing the air and kind of looking at you and sniffing the air. And when they realize they've made a noise and they've been seen, they start to move. And that's where we're going to cut it.
Yep.
Wow. You guys did amazing tonight. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This was...
I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
You did not, and you did brilliantly.
You were amazing. That was awesome.
Why would you think that? Have you seen Trendane?
I just, I want to be appreciative of my castmates, that's all.
You did great.
You did great. Everyone did great.
You guys all did great.
Seriously,
Everyone's great,
I ate a
and
lot of
I love
food.
it. You ate a lot of food.
Did great.
I'm proud of you.
How many times can we say the word great?
You guys did awesome.
Strapping.
Great.
There you go.
8.
Wrapping in
God. That was awesome. Let's go around to everyone and get your thoughts how that went. First session. God. Everyone in chat, feel free to share what you guys thought. Tell us how we did. Let's go around to cast again, starting with Meta. Tell us what you thought and where we can find you on the internet and all that cool stuff.
I'll start with the boring stuff. You can find me at the Metamancer on Twitter and Metamancer on Twitch, and all my details are on there. So if you want to learn more about me, just go there. That was awesome. I didn't know what to expect because, like I said before, I've only watched the game played for a few hours before, and it was nothing like what we did because it was earlier on before everything was fleshed out in the final version, all that. I was highly worried about how to deal with power tags, but actually, even after watching the previous episodes of the other crew, I still was like, what the fuck am I doing? I have no idea. But then it kind of started making more sense when you were focused on the actual narrative with the character. So it definitely makes more sense now. I'm excited to be able to have the fluidity that we do with the system. I think that this is such a great way to focus on role play while still allowing game mechanics to exist. And I love that. If you know anything about my stream, I love for Call of Cthulhu, we pretty much 90% of it's just role play. We only roll when there's sanity and things like that. So it's it's really good. I liked it. And you guys are an awesome cast. And I didn't know what to expect because we've all, well, except for Speedy, but we've all never played together. Logan's in my stream and I've watched his games, but we've never all like played together. So it was good. I liked it.
Warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
Yay. I'm like dying
career.
in this leather jacket. I'm gonna rethink my costume.
All right, Trendane.
Well, as it says right here, you can find me on Twitter at Trendane. As I said at the beginning, I'm a professional voice actor. I do video games and audiobook narrations and pretty much whatever pays, and a few things that don't. So,
Like this.
like this. You can find me here on Thursday nights, on the occasional Tuesday morning, bright and early, American, like Pacific Coast side. You can find me on Arvin Eleron's channel, playing Adventures in Middle Earth, which is basically D&D 5th edition, but set in the Tolkien universe. It is amazing. And then also on his channel, I also play regular 5th edition D&D. And we occasionally also have a live voice acting live stream where we get a bunch of us voice actors to basically, while he goes through and plays a game, we do all the voice acting with it live. So it's cold reading and improvisation, and it is stressful as hell. It's a lot of fun, but you really have to work on your cold reading because you don't know what's coming. It's amazing. It's fantastic. I love it. And
nice. Yeah, go follow Trendane and go give him money to do things because we don't.
Yeah, I would love that. That would be good.
All right, McLoken.
Hi, I'm McLoken. Hello.
Hi, Johnny.
Hi. Oh my God. You can find me at twitch.tv/McLoken on Wednesdays. I have my own campaign that I do called Chosen, which is a 5e / Final Fantasy 14 D&D campaign I've been running, which it's all homebrewed. So that's been really fun. And I do all the voices on there. I'm not a professional voice actor, but I like doing a bunch of voices. It's fun. But yeah, other than that, I'm on the show on Thursdays now. And I'm on Call of Cthulhu on Sunday, where I play Sergeant Buddy Fisher, and he just rambles a lot and punches things and he shoots things and gets things done. But yeah, that's what I do. I've been playing Monster Hunter World recently. But yeah, thank you for having me on the show. This has been fucking fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Dude, I love Johnny so much. Not you, Video Store Cowboy.
I was waiting. The real Johnny.
Dude.
Johnny Carson?
Yes.
Here's Johnny.
Johnny Cash.
Man in Black.
Johnny 5 alive.
Yeah, he's gonna eat us out of like house and home, I'm pretty sure, by the end of this campaign. That's fine. No, I love Johnny's character. All of you guys had really awesome characters, and I feel like, honestly, I need to step up my game even more because like you guys killed it today.
I don't think we've seen Geo really in his prime yet, though. Right? We saw a little bit of that in the one shot, but we didn't really see Geo in his prime.
No, that's true. He hasn't really gotten a chance to. I mean, honestly, considering his powers, which I haven't really revealed yet, most of them don't apply to most situations.
Right. And we might want to figure out, off screen if there's some minor modifications there to make them a little bit more, applicable in places.
Yeah, that's fine, honestly. Also, have you guys figured out what everyone's characters are yet? I think Cal's is fairly obvious. I think the rest are a mystery.
I know Meta's and she knows mine because we live together. So we had like very extensive conversations about our characters. I'm guessing Cal's Satyr.
Crazed in the Twitch chat. He knows that because a lot of Cal is based off of some of his artwork. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See.
Nice.
As for Geo, I don't know what Geo is. Geo is a magical bartender. That's all I really know.
Pretty much. Yeah. You're right.
You're very right.
I'm trying to think of magical bartenders, but none really come to mind.
I mean,
Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Do you guys have a guess what I am?
You're obviously a mimic.
Yes. I'm a treasure chest. I'm
just a strong dude. You're Popeye the Sailor Man.
Oh my god, that would have been perfect. Do I have any spinach?
So your mythos actually was interesting because it was a legend that I did not know, and so I did a lot of research on it today. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I want to find one because I was looking at it and I was like, I don't want to do a Norse one. Like, I wasn't feeling the Celtic ones, and plus Meta was already doing a Celtic one, and I didn't want to be like, oh, we're twinsies or something. So I was literally like, I spent like a good portion of the day like going through and finding a good one. Do you guys want to hint what it is or where you can find it? No? Okay.
No. Not even a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, I think there is a hint that you already gave basically when introducing yourself.
Yeah, there is.
I won't say what it is. I like the idea of people figuring it out as we go along. But
my community knows what mine is, but that's because I talk to them about stuff like this.
Yeah. I think yours should also be fairly obvious to anyone who knows the mythology.
Most people don't know that mythology, though.
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
At all. Or if they think they know it, they don't know the real mythology for it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you think you know.
Pretty much.
What?
Hell, I had to get some stuff straight too, and I had to double check to make sure I was going like the right way.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've gone like almost an hour over at this point, so we should be wrapping things up. Johnny, you want to tell people where they can find you?
Let me tell you.
Please, you were going to take over the game. Why don't you do my outro too? Johnny 6 and 20, Video Store Cowboy on Twitch, Vid Store Cowboy because that stupid 15 character limit on Twitter, Video Store Cowboy everywhere else. GM for 6 and 20 here. Previously it was Blades, now it is City of Mist, and we do this thing called Metropolis. It takes place across 3 nights, and I'm the GM for all 3 nights. So if I'm not here, I'm over on my channel, and if I'm not over on my channel, I'm over on Unmade Gaming's channel. So follow for more updates. And guys, I just want to say, amazing job all around. McLoken, Meta, you guys stepped up and jumped right into what in some ways, is already a pre-established relationship and killed it. Like, fucking killed it. So I'm super excited for where we go with this. So thanks, guys.
Are we the best crew?
This is the Phantom thing all over again. Yes. Phantom fucking wins.
Phantom won last time. We don't have a name for this crew yet, but this one wins. Yes.
We'll have to think of a good name for us.
Yeah.
Yes, you will. In fact, that's definitely something I'm going to be asking the groups over the next week, because we'll start to talk about crew mechanics next week, and I definitely want you guys to have a cool name, because cool kids deserve cool stuff.
That's true. But yeah,
I'm just glad everyone else is like sociable, because Johnny is not.
Yeah, but you talk. I mean, you stutter, but you talk.
It's annoying because he's like having panic attacks, and he's like, it's not like he's like, oh, that seems like a cool person I want to talk to, and he's like looking nervous, and he's like, and like eating food.
Well,
in the
now that
corner.
we're the Avengers, everything's fine.
That's the crew name.
That's the crew name, the Avengers.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. So I actually had a concern right before the end there if we weren't going to end anywhere but at that mansion. I was afraid that we were going to start this tradition of Cal at the end of every episode going home with somebody else. Because it was like, all right, he went home with Julia Sable the last time. He's going to go home this time. I guess this is a weekly thing.
He did not take her back to his house.
I would expect not, but
Right there in the park, just nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't even make it that far.
Well, that's both of your natural environments, though, right? You're both a little. All right. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Would Julia Sable know what's going on here? Have you tried asking her?
I haven't talked to her in. It's kind of rolls his shoulder, scratches in just a couple of days.
Ugh.
We didn't
Right.
talk much.
I don't know what happened, but I'm getting the feeling of what happened. So,
It's exactly what you're thinking. So.
yep.
Yeah.
hmm
And just remember that I had to role play a little bit of that with Cal, and it was.
You did well.
Cal's going to be a real uncomfortable, fun kind of a guy to play, to go up against in the GM side of things.
It's not
Just
that
so-
uncomfortable if you just use some more lube. It's fine. Okay.
And on that note, we'll be wrapping things up here. My name, but for the record, is Speedy. This is my channel, NotSoSpeedRuns, where you can see me here playing 6 and 20, and that's about it at this point. I try to stream on occasion. I've been trying to play through Red Strings Club, which is awesome, and which is also about a bartender who I've drawn some inspiration from this character for after I started playing it. You can catch me playing some other games sometime. And other than that, definitely go follow VideoStoreCowboy, go follow Unmade Gaming, the other two channels where 6 and 20 takes place. I put the link in there right now for the Twitter account for 6 and 20. So if you want to keep updated on all of the shows at once, that is a place to do it. And on that note, I don't think we have any other announcements. We can send you guys off on a raid.
But if you guys want to do character art, go for it.
Yes, please. That'd be pretty cool. I
want Meta to draw mine.
Is he still going?
Yeah, we had some cool fan art though of last time. There was this. It was Getsuki, I think his name was.
Gekitsu.
Yeah, he did some amazing stuff of Hocus.
So good.
Actually, a couple of the characters, and it was pretty awesome. So
Yeah.
fan art's always good,
I
regardless.
just want, if there's ever pictures of Johnny, he has to have some sort of food in his hand in the vicinity, or just like a backpack full of like just random food, like sausage links hanging out of it, and he's just like,
Yes.
What? But no. The real question for me is, what T-shirt is he wearing? Batman.
well, he's wearing Batman today, and essentially he'll continue. He'll wear Batman. But when it's a different day, it's gonna be some sort of nerdy shirt that I own that he's gonna like, and I'm probably gonna go out and buy
That's
some.
cosplaying.
Yeah, I'm cosplaying as Johnny right now.
You mentioned sausage links, and I just imagine like the chain of sausage links coming out. He's not even holding it; he's just got the last sausage in his mouth while he's working on it's like an animated GIF of him just constantly
Punching someone, eating more sausage, punching someone.
Now we need to get you some little tiny Vienna sausages all kind of connect together so you can do that on screen and we can gif it out.
You need like a dog toy so he doesn't actually eat them.
But he's I don't know, he's doing pretty good with all the eating going on stream so far. I just think it works.
I'm just concerned for his cholesterol, really.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna let him eat nonstop. Okay. I
leave that
recommended
responsibility
that
to
we
you.
gulpy of food, and then he can have that.
It's probably gonna be like next time I go grocery shopping, I'm gonna get like healthy snacks so I can just say, oh, I'm eating some nuts. Like this is a hamburger, and it's just like whatever the healthy
Kale
food I
chips.
get.
Just get you Fisher Price plastic food. It's fine.
I can't eat that though. I
You
mean, I
pretend
could.
to. You can do the hamburger thing with the
Oh.
the one that because you didn't actually have one, but you kept. on doing
I
it.
just have the play school kitchen. I'm like, guys, hold on, I have to go cook it real quick.
It's a pocket kitchen.
That'd be an interesting power tag. Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
You made it.
Yes, we're gonna go ahead and raid the Thog lore.
Okay.
Because on Monday when we were finishing up 6 and 20 last time, he sent a raid literally about like while the raid countdown was going for my channel, and like I didn't even get a chance to say thank you.
I feel so bad for him. Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and raid him. Thog is a really cool dude. He does D&D. He's currently doing some Know Your Role, D&D 5e, I believe. He does like D&D improv shows too and stuff. So really fun time. Go over there, copy paste that NotSoSpeed raid, and we'll see you soon. Until then, thank you guys so much for coming out here to 6 and 20. We'll see you next time. And as always, when you're gorging yourself on all the food in sight, don't forget to take it slow. Bye.
Careless.